at receiver, which I definitely agree. We definitely should go for a speedster at receiver. I'm gonna let this guy Kane Swag. Kane Swag, what's up, man? You got something to say? Kane Swag, what's up? You got something to say? Guess he can't hear me. You gotta unmute yourself. Okay, well, um, yeah. So we was just breaking news earlier. Linebacker Trotman. Um, if you missed it, Trotman. More than likely will not be back on the football team. For those who don't know, he got in a situation where him and his girlfriend were both arrested. Um, I don't know the specifics of the details of how the exact charges that's going on with him and his girlfriend, but we do know both of them was arrested. The team did suspend him indefinitely, so and we just got official word today that it's most likely he won't return with the team, leaving a hole in the linebacker room. So we was just talking about should we go after a transfer linebacker um to make up for that loss right there.
What happened to the Twitter X?
Man, I don't know. I looked at my phone and then
400 people. Twitter just kicked us out.
it just went blank. I don't know what happened.
I know, man. Twitter space be tripping, fool.
It just went blank, man. I don't know. That was crazy. That's Earl right there calling me now.
Definitely, Twitter be tripping, fool. So listen, last night, man, I asked a question, man, about the Miami Heat. When Jimmy Butler said he wanted to play, I asked a lot of people, did they think the Miami was gonna be able to close Atlanta out? Without Jimmy Butler. And a lot of people was on the fence, man, but they made that look easy, dog.
Well, yeah.
Matey, what's going on, bro?
I
You
was ready for Atlanta to get up off the TV. I was tired of watching them anyway, man. Just not mine.
Yeah, they made that look easy last night. Matty, you watched the game
yeah,
last
I
night?
wouldn't say look easy. 3-point victory, and they Atlanta kind of stayed in it because
It was a close game, but damn, we ain't got our best player, fool. Come on now.
yeah, now I think that's the beauty of this Heat team.
They made
Instead
it
of
close. They made it close at the end, but it wasn't close at all to
well,
me.
Hunter went off. I think Hunter had like
Yeah,
18 in the
once Hunter
fourth.
started going off, yeah.
But I feel like it's one of those things where I think that's the beauty about this Heat team. For one, it's like we don't got a bunch of superstars that we overpaying. They look like the Nets or the Lakers. We got a bunch of guys. We basically got the damn Sioux Falls Skyforce out there. Guys like Max Struess and Gabe Vincent. You know what I'm saying? Who just stepping up. And then you got a guy who could be a starter on most teams, and Oladipo, who basically been just sitting on the bench until Spo unleashed him. I heard one reporter say that was a flex. Like Jimmy really ain't hurt. They just wanted to kind of rub it in Atlanta face how deep they were. So they just was like, "Hey, Jimmy, man, you hurt 1 point," and then just let Oladipo. Like people forget on the last regular season game, Oladipo dropped 40 on the damn Orlando Magic backup squad. So it ain't like he's a pushover. He know what he's doing. So
I mean, last night.
24, 23, 24.
Yeah, yeah, like 20. He had 20 some. He had a good game. I mean, he stepped in for Jimmy Butler. I mean, Oladipo has always been a good player. I think he's just not that superstar that you put on the team and say, okay, well, this is the guy we're going to ride. And again, I don't think anybody on the Heat team is that superstar that you say we're going to ride. You just say, man, we put some good players around each other that complement each other.
I don't know. Jimmy kind of trying to make some
Jimmy,
plays,
of
man.
course, Jimmy is the alpha on the team, but
Jimmy trying to make some plays, man. I don't know. He's the leading scorer in the playoffs right now. Yeah,
Who,
he
Jimmy
averaged
Butler?
30 a game. #1 playoff leading scorer.
Oh well. Okay, see, I wasn't even aware of that, but
Yes, sir.
He averaging
I mean, but
100.
he's still not that superstar that you say. Hey, he's he's a superstar, obviously, but not. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not the LeBron or the D Wade or the Derrick Rose or the Kevin Durant, stuff like that.
But I think that's part of the thing that's kind of his grandeur, like his allure, is that he he isn't what people consider a conventional superstar because he's not one of those guys that are gonna have to score 30 in a regular season. Like, but as you can see, and he'll say it in the post games, like his teammates is doing something like, "Hey, Jimmy, get aggressive. We need you to score. We need you to lead us. We need you to carry us." And so he's one of those guys who's very okay being a facilitator, passing, getting the open shot, getting the best shot to the shooters on the outside and on the perimeter. But right now, he's just in a position where he's like, "Shit, y'all want me to go crazy? Okay." And like I said, it's such a talented roster that people just like the media has kind of like cast by the wayside that it's one of those things that it's almost scary for an opposing coach coming up because you don't really know how to prepare for him. Like you could have a game like Duncan Robinson. I think he went 0 for 5 last night from behind 3. But that's not saying Duncan Robinson gonna have every game like that. Duncan Robinson can come out like he did in game 1 and he dropped what 20 plus, almost 30, and was like 8 or 9 behind the 3-point line or something crazy like that. Like it's one of those things with this team. It's so hard to prepare for because they have so much depth. They have so many like guys who people would typically consider role players who were able to just space the floor, get out, make hustle plays, play great defense. So I'm excited to see how far this team goes, man. I really am. Like I know typically people.
Yeah, I think they could ride it out to the NBA Finals. Milwaukee guy was one of the guys on the Milwaukee team is hurt. I think he's out for like 4 weeks, so that's
Yeah,
gonna
Chris
hurt
Middleton.
them. Yeah, Chris Middleton, he's hurt. Boston, I just don't think Boston is a good matchup for the Heat. The Heat just seems to be bullying them. So I'm looking forward to the Heat, going to the finals. On the West side, I don't know who's out there on the West that's going to take it. I thought it was going to be the
Yeah,
Suns,
they
but
starting to.
they look like they're struggling a
Yeah,
little
with
bit.
Booker, he went down. So he's not really getting that much. He's resting right now, and so it's kind of not nullified, but kind of made them. So my alarm going off in the background. Um, but it kind of nullified. Yeah,
Everything, don't they?
it kind of nullified that Suns team. But even so, that dude Bridges still going off. Chris Paul still doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? So um, they got a solid squad, man. But I think for them, one of the teams to watch is gonna be it's got to be the Warriors, man. The Warriors is the
Oh well, yeah. Once if the Warriors catch fire like they normally always do, they definitely a team that's just gonna go
yeah
crazy. Man, my guy, man, is Ja, man. I know everybody's starting to catch on, but Ja's starting to show the world that he is that
Ja is
guy.
him. Ja is like that.
Streeter spent all his money on Zion rookie cards and forgot about
Yeah,
Ja, and Ja about to be.
Forget, I ain't forget about him. I just took a. I had to take a. I had to, but I ain't have to pick one, but I picked one.
yeah.
And Zion, them played basketball in 2 years.
And it's crazy because
Six
they
hundred
was
dollars
actually
card.
on the same AU basketball team, and everybody who was playing with them or who knew of them in high school kept telling people like Ja was going to be the better player. But it's hard to overlook somebody who jumping, they head touching the backboard. So but
Ja,
yeah,
Ja
Ja's the
Morant.
man.
Ja Morant is one of those guys like he's probably one of my favorite guards in the league. You know what's crazy? I think about Zion. It's a video on YouTube of Zion actually saying that Tyler Hero was like that. Because Tyler Hero used to play in the squad with him too, AAU
Oh
squad.
yeah. He did. Showing up there. Yeah. That's right.
Tyler Hero. Listen, man, Tyler Hero is very underrated. I don't know. Watching him play when you watch him play in person, No, he plays as he plays with a calm. You don't know if he's passing. You don't know what he's doing. Like you know if he's passing. You don't know if he's shooting. That dude is skilled. You saw him cross the dude. You saw him cross the man up last night.
Yeah, Tyler Hero's one of those guys that it's wild to me that I watched Tyler Hero his first. I was in Sacramento. I watched him his first spring, not spring, summer league. So when I was in Sacramento, his rookie year, or going into his rookie year, they had a like a showcase where it was like Golden State, the Heat, the Lakers, and Sacramento's like rookie G League teams in the tournament right before they went to the G League, and I think the Heat ended up coming second place and winning the whole thing. But I remember like walking to the ring and watching this man like, and he's stoic, like he ain't joking around, like laughing, talking shit before the game, like he just getting his shots up practice. He looked to me like he wanted to throw hands. I mean, it was whatever, but he one of them dudes is just very like stoic, like focused on what he got to do. And he's, I mean, like other than in the bubble, like he really ain't one of those people that's gonna be going crazy and making all this noise and having all this like extra shit. He just go out there and hoop. I think it's
Nah,
he hasn't
yeah,
been great in this series, but yeah, he's definitely a hooper, man. He a baller.
he is. He's ice water. So how y'all who coming out the East? Y'all give me your two teams.
I mean, I'm gonna say the Heat so far. The Heat,
It's gonna be who in the championship in the East.
the Heat will be in the East, and then in the West. Oh man,
So you think so the Heat so who you think gonna be in the championship in the East though?
the Eastern Conference Championship. So they will probably most likely end up playing. Dang. I guess I would say Milwaukee.
Who do you think, Maddie?
I think it's gonna be Boston and Miami. I think Milwaukee's gonna. I don't know if Middleton's out as long as they say he is. I think the type of defense that Miami was playing and the type of defense Boston playing right now, I think if Milwaukee got to run into that Boston defense like how they are, like they got the defensive player of the year with Marcus Smart on their team, I think it's gonna be very hard for them to come out the East. Like I know everybody's like, oh, you can't stop Giannis, but
Okay,
Giannis got his role players
does
around him.
the Heat play Boston, or would they face the winner, Milwaukee or 76ers?
So right now, yeah, we are waiting for the winner of Philadelphia and Toronto. So Toronto forced a game 6, and I think they play tonight. They might be playing right now in Toronto to try to force a game 7 because they stole back home. Yeah, technically, no, well, no, they haven't sold back, but because game 7 gonna be in Philly regardless if they force game 7. But right now, it's 3-2 Toronto, and I would love to play Toronto next.
Oh yeah,
Personally,
that'd be easy money for the Heat.
but even so, James Harden is playing like trash right now, and Embiid got like he got banged up a little bit. So
James Harden is playoffs trash. Like that's
yeah.
what's the other guy? What's his name? Who at the Clippers? They call him playoff P or whatever.
Oh, Paul George.
Paul George. I mean, James Harden is looking maybe worse than Paul George right now.
Yeah.
So Streeter, man, earlier when
my guy here too.
Streeter, earlier we recorded the show, man. It was we talked about some recruits, specifically at the wide receiver position. And everybody's trying to figure out the number of receivers that we would take in the class. And I gave my specifics of who I wanted in that class. Maybe a lot of the fans wouldn't agree because some of them just don't even watch football like that. But the list I came up with, the one that I wanted, that was a pretty good list.
I don't know if you can go wrong with with the class. The class is loaded when it comes to the wide receivers. So I'm not sure if you can go wrong.
Let me ask you something, X and Street. As far as because I know like it seemed like the spring big game got everybody turned off on our receiver core now. But we didn't really see guys like Romello, stuff like that. is the collective belief that like our receivers right now on the roster aren't it, or are we just kind of waiting to see how they develop through the summer and fall workouts?
Well, for me, I would say it's a little bit of both. You got receivers that can be it, but I think for the most part is we don't have that. Let me see. We don't have that receiver that Amars Richards, or we don't have the excuse me, the Philip Dorsett's. Like you don't got the speed guy who gonna go out there and just beat everybody. Once he like whoever lines up in front of him. Then you don't have the Amar Richards, the alpha, where you have that one receiver where if the play breaks down, you can just throw him the ball and he's gonna make that play. That's the thing I guess a little frustrating with most of the fan base, even the coaching staff, because you don't have that just yet. Is it on the team? Is it on a roster? I think so. I just feel like they might have to get it out of him. And then Romelo not being there, I think Romelo will be our deep threat because that's always been a part of his game in high school. He's been a deep threat, but he's got a whole lot better with running intermediate routes too.
I think I believe listen, bro, people always overreact to things. You know what I'm saying? I talk IOD investor die a lot. And the market is built on a lot of overreaction. Oh, Google had a bad earning, boom, dropped 6%. Crazy hell of an entry for you to get in. Oh, Amazon did that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Elon Musk gonna buy Twitter. Twitter flies up. I think people overreact on things, bro. Those wide receivers we brought in last year are superb. Could we add extra speed? Yes. That's like saying could your girl, she don't need to get surgery, but could she use some fat taken out of her stomach, or she could use some bigger boobies?
Well, why you always trying to compare something to the girls?
She could, you know what I'm saying? But she's perfect the way she is. Go kiss on the forehead, tell you love her. She's perfect the way she is. But would you like for her to go under the knife? And I mean, so I think that people overreact to things, bro. I think Brassard is a game breaker. We saw it as a freshman. I think when Romelo come back, has big game playability. I think Restrepo is going to make plays. Jacoby George is about as smooth and as reliable as they come. Then you add the tight ends. I mean, you see our tight ends doing their thing, and then look at our quarterback. Like, so the question is, like, our quarterback we're saying is going to be playing for a Heisman Trophy, right? Does he have enough to make it happen? Of course he does. Could they use more speed? Yeah, I agree with Earl. You know what I'm saying? That they could use a faster, but then, like I said, you could add to anything. I mean, you could. Do I need to give my girlfriend analogy again? Because I would.
So what I'm saying is, from what y'all seen in practice, like y'all.
I mean, okay, so again,
Jacoby's not that guy.
No, Jacoby is definitely
that guy, dog.
He's
It's
that guy.
confusing, right? Now you get confused, right, Medi? It's confusing.
He's a guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you have
in
spring? What you have in spring is you're trying to Coach Gaddis, Coach Mario, trying to figure out the players he could trust on the field in certain scenarios, certain schemes. Can I have this 11 personnel out there, or do I go to the 12 personnel? You're basically trying to figure out who can you trust on the field. Right now, Gaddis and TVD is trying to figure out who's going to be that go-to receiver. So you're seeing, okay, well, we don't know yet who's the go-to receiver because they still trying to figure it out themselves. So that's why the tight end group was able to come in and perform good because at least you knew already who they were with Mallory and then Royal and then Jaleel Skinner. And then with the emergencies of Brentley, you like, oh, well, our whole tight end room looks good. So now you comfortable with, 11 personnel. But let me see how these receivers are looking out here. You know what I'm saying? Because if the receivers are looking good, now I can start switching up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and then don't forget Knighton to be back. You know what I'm saying? So Knighton caught the ball out the backfield a lot for us last year. That's another weapon that TVD and Gaddis going to have. So what you seen for spring is like, okay, well, now we know what we got. Let's go and start implementing the plays. You know what I'm saying? We got the plays going. Okay, we gonna put who we want on the right side, put who we want on the left side, and we go from there. So I don't get upset. You know what I'm saying? Of course, fans want to see I want to see bombs and stuff every play, but I think Gaddis understands what he got and will use what he got to the best of his ability once the season starts.
I would say I would just to piggyback on what you were saying, X. I would say that this is kind of like a perfect scenario for both Gaddis as well as the receiving core and really everybody on offense, right? So we don't have an Amon Richards in the room, but because we have a coach like Gaddis who's very good at scheming it up, and he even said it himself in one of his interviews where he's like, in comparison to Lashley's offense, his incorporates a lot more schemes. So with that, you're gonna have a lot of rub routes going on, things like that, where you're gonna feed the tight ends, you're gonna feed the running backs, both handing it off and out of the backfield. But what all that should do is open up zones on the field where you're able to make receivers that you would say are not quote unquote blue chip guys, where you're going to be able to get them open, and that's going to allow them to eat. So that's what I'm interested in seeing, is how the scheme allows guys to have above average numbers, even though they may not be, a Jameson Williams or Amon Richards or anybody like that.
Yeah, I think that's where most of the fans get blinded by us not having that. You got a guy out there who run a 4-2, and every time he runs the play, he just runs by the rest of the defense. Yeah, I don't think we have that on the field besides Rashad Smith. Everything else, I think we just got good players. We just don't have that Jameson Williams. Like, it was crazy watching him against us, man. I was like, man, how is this guy running by the whole team like that? But
I think it's just classic overreaction season. That's all it is, people. Because one minute everybody is sold on Earl Little. I mean, not Earl. I see Earl in there, not Earl Little. Everyone sold it on Jacoby George, and then all of a sudden we get into the game and he's not. Mind you, we all running vanilla offense. We know that it's not what we're gonna do in the season. But if he don't,
but I don't think the fans understood that. I think they thought
if he ain't head topping nobody, all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need to get another receiver. It's like, God damn, which one do y'all want? Do you want him showing everything that we got and showing potential, players, people we play in the future, or teams that we play in the future, who he is, or do you want it to kind of be our little secret and then he go off in the season and he's possibly in the running for Bletnikoff? Which one do y'all want?
Yeah, I think
you can't have both.
Fans,
you know what I'm saying?
The fans wanted to see. They didn't want to see the vanilla stuff. They wanted to see, some fireworks. Let's see some trick plays. Let's see some deep passes. This is Miami. Being a Miami fan, the fans can get very, very, very impatient. So again, like you say, vanilla plays. I was perfectly fine with it. I didn't expect no craziness. But do the fans understand? Maybe the defense just gotten better. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the sides of the balls had to get better.
Yeah, the DBs was most definitely better, but since Earl Little is in the space, he could tell you coaching DB. It's things that you could do on offense and certain schemes that you could put in place where you could make sure that your receivers are productive and getting first downs and things like that. So I'm excited about seeing these schemes that
Just say you
Coach
excited
Gaddis
about
had
seeing
over
real
in
Richard.
Michigan.
Richard, just say you excited about seeing real coaching, bro. You ain't got to sugarcoat it. Don't do all that.
Right. You absolutely right, Kyle. You're right.
Hey, so Earl, when you came out there before Twitter kicked us off, you were saying something about you didn't see us have that elite receiver that we need on the team.
Right.
You can continue what you were saying about that.
That's a little bit of both. Some of you guys just picked up on it. Like, schematically wise, you can go out there and you can just out scheme people. You may have that guy that may not be that Jameson Williams, that can run like that, but he also gonna make plays like Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp running the 4.7. But I also say that the NFL has changed some of these rules to let you can't even touch these guys. Whatever. So it's all about the points. But on the collegiate level, in that our school. I didn't see that, there. And also what the fans have to understand, you're not going to show that much at a spring game. You're going to try to keep it vanilla because you're really trying to, okay, this is the last one. We want to get out here as healthy as we can. We competed because they've seen so many practices, the 16 practices prior to that 17th one, or whatever the number is. They've seen enough that they're going to grade off. But as a defensive back, if I'm playing or a defensive coordinator and I'm playing against my school, I'm coaching against Miami. I don't see nobody there that's gonna. And there's no disrespect to the guys like Brashard. Brashard is a burner. I've been knowing Brashard since he was in the 6th grade. So I've been knowing him. I knew from that point on that kid was the real deal. So I just think that. But you do need that guy. You need one or two guys that can put some fear inside of a defensive backfield, because if not, man, they can, as well as an offensive coordinator that can scheme you, defense on the offensive side of the ball. You got some great defensive coordinators out there that's also that can scheme you, because if you're not putting fear in that guy, man, they can bracket coverage you. They can do whatever they can. They can play too high, 3rd and long. They can drop 8, rush 3. You can do so much, to take that guy out of the game. And then we got a great backfield. We got a lot of kids back there that can run the ball. So, we got weapons over there, but I just think that to actually put that fear, to open things up, to make it a little bit better, I think we just need to. I think more speed can help us out, on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I agree. By you saying our backfield, I think that's going to be the key right there. The backfield, which because we didn't run the ball good at all last year. We averaged like, I think, maybe 3 yards or whatever, less than that per carry, which was real low. So, if you're running the ball good, then now you could do different things when, they only, they got to play Jacoby 1-on-1, or they got to play Romello or Keyshawn Smith 1-on-1. They're not gonna have a safety over the top. But if
one thing I'll say
ball,
one thing I'll say about us averaging 3 yards a carry, we saw how many times, they was handing the ball off to Knighton, after 15 carries, and Knighton over there breathing with his tongue out of his mouth, and now you want him to go get a 3rd and 1. I mean, come on now. I think this offense will be a lot more balanced than that. And a question that I have to everybody is, we all know that Bashard is a burner, but what can we do to get him more open, or to get him to utilize his talent more? What would you guys like to see?
Well, with the RPO game, that's what helps out a whole lot in this day and age of football. And I think if you look at what they did at Oregon, so I'm pretty sure they're going to take some pieces out of that playbook. And I know Josh. I had a long conversation with Josh when I was out there prior to practice, so I know he got some things cooking, and I know he's looking forward to getting these guys right during the summer, and all that, because there's so much you can do during the spring, But I just think with the RPO game and these guys just going out there competing and catching the balls, man, that's what's going to that can help us out right there, because that's what the game has come. And he did some great things with those guys at Michigan. So I see what he's done in the past. So I think they're gonna cook it up. They're gonna cook it up more coming up with the summer. I'm sorry, I'm trying to back my car in my garage. But I think they're gonna do a good job, guys. I think, but we got some dogs out there, some guys that want to compete. But I just think that speed, man. If we can get somebody else out there to help get us going with that speed wise, we'll be all right.
Tell us this, Earl. Tell us this. So y'all got this private Kane legend chat, right? And over the years, I heard it was really power.
You heard what? I'm sorry. What did you hear?
y'all got this chat, this Kane legend chat with all the Kanes in it. I've seen it. I heard from Najee and I heard from a couple people, and it was getting man. Talk more positive in there around.
Breaking up, Frida.
Yeah, it was breaking up. I could barely hear you.
He was saying about the the Canes chat with the former, the alumni chat with the former Canes players. He's like, man, how because we heard how down it was when it was bad. He said, so now how is it now? How's the energy with it now?
Actually, I ended up exiting myself out of the group chat by mistake. I was trying to exit some of the conversation, man, because the conversation I had over sometimes, man, it'd be 900, it'd be like 1,000. I'm not joking. It'd be like 1,000 text messages inside that group chat. So I ended up exiting myself out. And Gerard Daphnis called me a few days ago, because he got to put me back in. So I haven't heard what was going on. But yeah, sometimes there's some heated conversations in there, bro. Like guys not disrespecting each other, but yeah, there's some heated conversations because everybody, we wore those colors, we played out there, so you're concerned about the program and stuff. But I don't know what's been going on lately because I haven't been on there in some days.
So, Coach Earl, I'm asking you as a coach now. South Florida, we got some really highly talented receivers in this 2023 class. Starting off with Brandon Enos, Nathaniel Joseph, Hakeem Williams, Jalen Brown, William Fowles, Robbie Washington, Andy Jean. Just naming those guys. I know you was coaching at the school with Brandon Enos. And basically he's wide receiver number one on the board. Right. A lot of Canes fans probably wouldn't agree because they don't think we have an opportunity to land Brandon Enos. But could tell us why Brandon Enos is probably the best receiver in the nation.
No, ain't no probably. He is. And like you say, this, and I'm not being biased because I coached over there. The kid is a real deal. I've been knowing him since he played at PPO when he was a little boy. I was like, man, who is this little white boy out there just killing people? This is his attitude. And then to come to find out, I said, oh, he's a little black kid, so it was Ennis. And so, but yeah, man, his work ethic, his passion for the game, the battles, and you can ask him, the battle him and Earl had, like those two guys that match that energy and the love for the game that they had some great battles, man. And they used to go at it. And he's the real deal, man. I mean, it ain't no hype because there's some people that can be this star and be that. That's why I never get caught up in that. But Brandon Ennis, he's the real deal, man. He's definitely wide receiver number one. And I'm talking about this kid can do it all. He can play safety. He can play quarterback. He can play anywhere on the field as a wide receiver. You can put him in the backfield, and believe it or not, the kid can punt the ball as well. He can do it all, man. He is a true football player. He's a kid that, that passion, like he's up there. He's the real deal.
Yeah, trust me. I've been watching him since he was seventh, eighth grade
at U school.
And then he's been playing varsity since middle school. So it's like, a lot of people, a lot of Cane fans, they, it's Cane fans, man. So a lot of them figure, we not gonna have an opportunity with Brandon. But one thing I keep telling him, I say, man, Brandon is very interested with UM. Like it's not like we don't have opportunity.
Right. It's all.
We just got to do our job. We do our job. Guess what? You might can land the number one receiver in the nation.
Man,
well,
go ahead.
I would ask, who would be the 4 to 5 receivers you think that we should be targeting if we can get all of them? Who do you guys pick? In the recruiting business, man, you got to target all of them. You can't let your foot off until those kids put that ink on that paper. You got to recruit them. And that's one thing I learned from Butch Davis, man. You got to go after these guys, and you got to recruit them. You got to recruit them hard. You got to get on them. And some people, they don't understand that business, because we're fans and we want these guys, whatever. But as far as the coaching staff, that it's 24/7, 365. So recruiting never stops. You can never just say, oh man, this guy should come to our school because he's a local kid or this and that.
You got to pound the pavement. You got to go get these guys. It ain't about kissing butt or whatever. It's a relationship that you have to build, and you have to go at them. And then you never know, like X said, you never know. I know people saying Ohio State, maybe USC, maybe Alabama or whatever, but UM always got a chance, especially with Mario being back home now, and now he's going to have that full wave to go out there and recruit and get some of the guys, and you putting the excellent staff together. So I think you got to recruit all those kids, man, because you just can't say, okay, well, we're not going to get him. And trust me, the fans may be saying that, but the coaches aren't saying that in that meeting room. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. So the fans may think that way, but
that makes sense.
But inside that building, nah, bro, they not saying we don't have a chance at end. They going all the way down to the wire how it's supposed to be, and I can guarantee you, Mario gonna do that because I saw how Mario recruited my son from Oregon. Mario used to hit me, his mom up in the group text at 7 o'clock in the morning over here, which is 4 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. So he goes hard in the paint. So
yeah, we still trying to figure out when does Coach Mario sleep. We don't know when.
Man, that dude don't sleep, man.
Yeah.
he loves recruiting. I mean,
I know he loves it, man. At the first day he got here, he was immediately recruiting. Like, he didn't take a break. He was on the recruiting trail. I mean, that was just amazing right there, man. But I know, like Earl was saying, you got to go after. If it's 10 top receivers in South Florida, you go after all 10 as hard as you can. You know what I'm saying? You just go after them until the ink is signed on paper. Especially in South Florida, you just want to make them guys feel like, yeah, man, we do want you home.
Right.
It's a luxury for us to even recruit you. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to these other schools on visits, and other schools are showing them everything that these kids they've never seen before, and they loving it.
Man,
so you gotta do the same thing. You gotta show them things, show them that you really, really want them. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, because you local, let's just go to University of Miami. Nah, that shit been sold long time ago.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. From Earl, being a parent, and watching his recruiting process and going through it with him. I saw a list. Like, as good as Alabama is, they recruited him like they was ranked 130th in the nation, and so is Mario and all the other schools. But they had a list, and somebody sent me the list. They had a list to where they had to call. It was 10 dudes. 5 of it wasn't no order, but the 5 guys they had to call. It was 5 guys that they had to call or reach out to every single day, 365. That somehow, some way, they had to get after that kid, and Earl was one of those kids in that 5, and that's something that I saw. They just do it different over there. But guess what? Mario told me when we was out there in Oregon on the unofficial visit, he told me, he said, I'm bringing that Saban SEC style and that old Miami swagger. That's what I'm trying to get. So if he told me that about what he was trying to do over there, that's what he's trying to do here. That's the blueprint that he got.
Yeah.
You look at the fourth quarter stuff that they was doing during the spring, and everything. All that stuff come from Nick.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying, I say Mario got his coaching style from Nick Saban, but Mario got his recruiting style from Butch Davis because he was on that Butch Davis style. So I'm like, you really getting the best of both worlds with one of the best recruiters of all time.
He had kids from all over going to Oregon, dude. All over.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Somebody was calling.
Yeah. Earl, what's up? D Brizza here.
What's up, brother?
UM alum.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, not 98.
There you go.
So, quick question for you. We've been going back and forth on another Kane podcast about this topic of, NIL deals, as you can imagine, versus coaching staff in the university. Like, the overwhelming majority feedback, people are saying we're getting these top kids because of the bags.
Mm-hmm.
And these are fans. And I think it's part of the package. My perspective is, but based on reading the interviews, majority of the kids are saying it's the coaching staff.
Right.
But because you were just thrown.
Yeah. It's totally different, man. And I don't want to be the dead horse, man, because some people just got outrageous by what it was after one interview that I did, and I was just basically saying the guy asked me a question, did I hear from the former head coach? And I've never heard from him. It's like, how can you recruit a child and you never have a relationship, the head coach with the parents? That's not going to happen with Mario. And
That was Manny,
right. But I don't want to go back there because it's been so, I don't live for other people. I've never been that way. But the whole point is, some people got outraged about that, but they wasn't listening. They just heard something there, but it wasn't listening, wasn't paying attention. And also, what was also said from down there that, oh, local kids should come to school here just because it's the U. That's not how it goes. And I said that at the round table that we had back in November. You have to pound the pavement and go out there and recruit these kids, no matter, because Miami isn't recruiting itself like it did in the 80s when they got hot, in the early 90s, in the early 2000s. That's not the way it is right now. The game has changed so much, and a lot of people have caught up. You got guys like Derek Thomas that went to South Miami High, was right down the street from the U. He went to a different school. So I just think with the whole NIL deal, that's great for the kids. But Mario has got a staff together that he's putting together that is so great that these kids, and they build it because I'm telling you, he's going hard after these kids, and he's relentless with it. And that just wasn't how it was with the process that just happened. And it's funny to me, and funny and sad at the same time, because I love my school, I love the program and all that, but I wasn't forcing this boy to go to any school. I wanted him to go to St. Thomas from the jump, but he wanted to go to Heritage, so that's where he went to school. All right, and so now everybody that's been doing all that talking, I look at the comments on Twitter sometimes. I'm like, everybody talk trash about Manny now, but now they so happy to have Mario. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. So one way, just because was it personal because I didn't force the kid to go to the school, because that's his recruiting process. Because at the end of the day, if I force my child to go to any school and if things don't work out for him, I got to live with him. And can't nobody,
no doubt.
I watched him come out the womb. I watched him come out. I was there. I cut the umbilical cord. Can't nobody tell us how to raise our kids and what we should think was best for our child when you didn't go through this recruiting process. You just saw it from the outside as a fan.
Yeah, it's wild,
man. It's super wild, bro.
I feel like I'm talking to Uncle Luke. Like, I had a conversation with Uncle Luke, and it was similar, like perception versus reality, in terms of people saw him and they thought, oh, he's like a hater. And, he was like, I was hating because I was so passionate about the Canes. Yeah. And so he's like, I hated what was going on there.
Right. It just, I told T-Rob and DVD the first time I had a Zoom call with them, I was like, hey, man, it's all about development and production. I said, you guys got to, and DVD will tell you. Me and DVD talked 2 years ago about this. I said, bro, and his mom said the same thing to him. There ain't going to be no bias just because his dad went to UM. And I told DVD, I said, y'all got to recruit him just as hard as every other school that's recruiting him, because I'm not going to just say, hey, man, you going to this school right here. I would never do that, bro, because my parents didn't do that to me.
Right. And at the end of the day, with both NIL and what school you go to, it's business. Yeah. So a lot of times, the kids are 18 years old and they go to a specific school, but you got to understand, at 18 years old, you got to pay taxes. At 18 years old, you're liable to sign contracts and everything else. So
that's why you got to have a team behind you, and that's why I said earlier, bro. I said that was Richard that was talking, right? Okay, yeah. So that's, and those are the questions when I sat in those NIL meetings. Those were some of the questions that I asked, because I told my son, I said, hey, man, I said, you're getting into something that I didn't have to think about until after my senior year at UM. You getting ready to go through this right now as a high school kid. Like, you're not even out of high school yet. So it's crazy. So that's why the parents, and that's why you got to talk with financial advisors. In the schools going to do their best as well to help you out. So they're not just going to let you just sign something crazy, because even though with some of the deals that I'm not going to speak on now with my son, they have to go through, like with Rock Nation, they had to communicate with Alabama. So it's being done right. And once you get a strong team behind you, and Earl has CAA and Rock Nation behind him. You got two of the top agencies that wanted him, and they got him out, and Rock got him out of high school. So he got, and you know anything about Jay-Z, he touched his hands on everything. That's another billionaire that's running a successful company. So he got a good team behind him.
Question for you, Earl, about that. Like, and you're involved obviously because your son's at Alabama. We hear it, or I hear all the PR, and I have a PR agency that Ruiz is doing self-promotion.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hear about the NIL deals at Alabama.
And you know what?
And is that just because we're focused on Miami, or they're just not promoting?
For one, I started to hit X up the other day. I think it was X or Streeter, and they mentioned something about like Miami's the only school that has just all their players with NIL deal, and that's not true.
Oh yeah, I think that was me. That was me.
That like some shit I say.
No, I think that was X. I think that was X. But
yeah, that was me. That was me.
But that's not true, because a lot and what you just said, Britt. Some people just not promoting it, and I know there's a lot of money being handed out to to the whole team with walk-ons as well, more than what Miami giving people.
Yeah, that's why I was really saying. I was like, okay, all the players, including walk-ons. I didn't know, because I've seen some teams say they're giving out to only scholarship players.
Oh no.
And that's why I was saying, well, at least Miami is doing it for every player.
Nah, but over there, Alabama, they're doing something good with the guys. They're doing something good with those guys over there, man. That school got so much money, bro. Them in Texas A&M, that's crazy though.
Oh, trust me, I know that Texas over there. That's that whole state.
That's that black gold money over there, that oil.
Saban was like one of the first ones to start talking about how much NIL money one of his guys get. It's just that we didn't find out who was giving it out, so they just did their things on the low.
Right.
So everybody different. Ruiz feel like promoting is going to help recruiting, so that's why he does it.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it's going to help the U out, and it's also going to help his business out as well. And that's nothing wrong with it, and I see nothing wrong with it. I think it's good. I think it's a good. I mean, he's a billionaire. You know more than me, but I think strategy-wise and marketing-wise, I think it's great that he's doing it, and like he got the kid from Kansas State that's supposed to be transferring in at the U. That's saying a lot, and like you said, it's going to help recruiting out, with the school, big time.
Yeah, I think it's great. Like you say, it's helping his business out, which is the long-term goal for him as far as being a businessman. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but the blessings of it is he's an alumni of the school too. So he said, "Hey, I can help my school out too at the same time."
And it's about time. And I think people always wanted to do that at the school, but for whatever the old heads that was there at Miami, they didn't want to go that route, because we all know from
they didn't want to.
It's like some people just don't want to lose quote unquote power, I guess. But to be successful in a small private school like UM, you got to be able to have that alumni back, and you got somebody like that that's willing to help out with the program. Then now that the NIL is here, so hey, he's taking off with it, and hopefully he can get that stadium down there at Tropical Park. That'll do wonders, man. Because people don't. You don't understand. You have a campus, a stadium close to campus. That's so much better for these kids, bro.
Yeah, that's gonna be that, and then the football facility that they starting preparing stuff around the school. That right there alone, man, it's gonna be a game changer around the nation, man. So that's something we definitely can't wait to see and happen and flourish and stuff. So
just gotta win.
Hopefully,
we just gotta win.
You got to win on the field. Listen,
and I'm talking about championships. You got to crawl before you walk. I'm talking about like ACC championships. We got to get there, and we got to at least be win it, or be very, very competitive, or win it, and then now we get to go to a big January 1 bowl game or national championship. And it's not going to happen overnight, but you never know. But the winning going to solve a whole lot of things, because I know how we are down here, man. We spoiled, man. We want championships. That's what we came up on.
Yeah, I mean, I said that. I think I said that last week. I said, man, I think Mario might have to win like kind of fast. Like we can't be no 3-4 year process. It might have to be like 1-2 because we're so impatient in Miami.
You're so impatient, and then people are going to be looking at the money situation.
I got a question towards that. So, how many recruiting classes, of course, coupled in with development, would it take in order to stand toe to toe with the Alabamas, Ohio States?
Oh man, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you before you even finish that. Alabama is so loaded with so much talent. Like we still got to catch up. That's like maybe 5 years to get the same exact talent that Alabama has. Even Ohio State, they've been recruiting at top 5 levels every year for the past 10 years.
But Ohio State, you can't even put them in the same category as Alabama because
why
recruit.
Why you can't? They've been recruiting top 5 every year for the past 10 years. They've been sending players to the NFL every year for the past. Like why you can't put them in the same category?
They're very similar to Notre Dame, where they recruit.
No, don't you do that. Don't you do that.
But
don't
they
you
don't
do that, man.
They don't get the most out of their players. They don't. I mean, look at what's on their roster and look at their record.
So outside of them losing maybe one game in the Big Ten each year, maybe losing to a SEC team in the playoffs, I don't see no problem. Like, if Fields don't get hurt that one year, they might win the championship that year.
Maybe, but I mean, you got to get to the game first. I don't think they even got to the game that year.
They was in the playoffs. Remember, Fields
they were in the playoffs, but were they in the finals that year?
No, Fields got hurt and they lost the game. That's what I was saying. Like they lost. I think that's when they was playing Clemson, and they had I don't know why I called him guy Sunshine, but they had the quarterback Sunshine, and he broke the long run and scored a touchdown. So I mean, Ohio State recruits top 5 level every year.
Yes, they do. And
you saying how many years for us to get on their level as far as an entire 85-man roster? Man, we gonna need some years.
No, I'm saying in terms of being able to go out and win a game against Alabama.
Oh well, that okay, yeah, you're gonna need the roster and you're gonna need the coaching. You're gonna definitely need the coaching. If you look,
A&M did it last year.
We just played Alabama this previous year, man. Of course, their players was just better for one, and their coaching was just like it wasn't even on the same level as ours. So,
and let me tell you the difference too. Let me tell you the difference of the players, the size of the players. You know, when you look at, I remember looking at the coin toss at that game when I was there. And you just see the size of the players that's over there than what we have down here. It's totally different. And I was standing in the hallway at the A-Day game, and it was coming out, and I was where the red team was coming out, and I was just like, damn, these kids are giants. And then I was just at practice the Tuesday before of that week, and they just looked totally different than our guys. Now, but we always used to kill guys because we weren't the biggest team at the U, but we had so much speed and our mindset down here in South Florida. But that's part of what I said earlier tonight, that the game has caught up and it has changed because the strength and conditioning program, put it this way, the strength and conditioning program over there. Now the head guy, he just left and went to the Saints, Coach Red, but they still got those guys over there. Jamison Williamson tore his ACL in January. That kid is running right now. He may not be running a 4.2 right now, but he's running right now. He just tore his ACL 3 months ago. All right. Mac Jones was running a 4.940. In 6 months, he's running a 4.640. And I'm looking at the data that he's showing me on the official visit, and I'm looking at the videotapes and what these guys are doing. So that's why the strength and conditioning program, I watched that guy work at Oregon when I went out there twice this past year. So we got the right guy as a strength and conditioning coach. We got the right mindset, the nutritionist and all that. Mario's going to do it right because I'm telling you, he got the blueprint. Now you just got to get those guys. And with Ruiz and the NIL, I think it'll happen, but I think it's going to be some years. I don't think it's going. You say A&M won? Yeah, A&M got some big guys too. They got some. They got it. They got that W. But I just think our program, it's gonna take a couple years, bro.
I think the answer to the question appropriately is I think you got to look at it a different way. Football is any given Sunday,
No doubt.
and
No
as far
doubt.
as college goes, now it's any given Saturday. So you can come up with. I'm not talking about a miracle, but you can be competitive. Like you can be Cincinnati, and we're gonna always have more talent than Cincinnati.
Right.
So we can line up with Bama, one particular year and actually beat them. You know what I mean? It's gonna take us having a TVD type quarterback and maybe some more special players. As far as like what Earl was saying about like their strength and conditioning and all that kind of stuff, to be honest with you, keep our players in Florida, because it's like our players are meeting their strength and conditioning and you can see what it's creating. But if they ain't got our players to do that with, it's a different ball game. Not saying that they're not going to get players from everywhere else, but if we keep our best guys, if we keep our Ja'Cory Brooks Holmes and the defensive end and all the way, if we can keep our guys home, we don't have to wait 5 or 6 years to look like we can compete with Alabama.
But it goes back to that R word. It goes back to recruiting.
Recruiting and development.
Because Steve Spurrier was saying that the other day at the Florida spring game. Steve Spurrier was like, man, you know how many kids? We had 280 D1 kids in Florida. You know how many of the top, I think he said like 70% of the top 10 kids in Florida went outside of Florida. And he was like, man, in the 90s, that would have never happened. Never.
But it was different
but guess
back
what?
then because they
the social media has changed the game.
Development.
Right.
Exactly. Social media that's a lot that changed. That's a lot that goes to that because right now you got social. By the click of a phone, a kid can see whatever facilities look like. Some kids just want to go away. Some kids just want to go away and play ball. And then but everything has changed from what it was in the 90s because social media, coaching, the travels now, the facilities, there's so much into it. But I think we're on the right track. But yeah, you can be beaten on any given Sunday, and I'm not saying we can't beat Alabama if we played them again this year, whatever. But it's gonna be a war, but it can happen, of course. But I think to really be competitive to where we once were, I think it's gonna take a couple years.
Yeah, I'm looking at like between three. You gotta get you three good top 10 classes. Gotta constantly, the offensive line and defensive line. That's one thing from the 80s to even to the early 2000s that are always recruited great at. You know what I'm saying? So
Mario been an interior guy, so that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
then you can see what he's doing as far as we just brought in a bunch of D linemen.
Right, you got JT over there
more
too.
help with the offensive line, so we're trying to at least get back to that level where we recruited good up front because this is Florida, this is South Florida. You're going to get them skill positions no matter what.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? But it's the big fellas that you need to get that changes the game. You know what I'm saying?
Got to win in the trenches, bro. It sounds cliche, but that's real. That's real as it gets.
I think we can get to the top or the tip of the mountain without being all the way back. And I say that because, like you say, we got a lot of talent here. We can do all that. And I think we can slide in. What I mean by the top of the mountain is being able to just get into the playoffs because the ACC is so weak. And if you start winning, kids will start staying at home. So I think we can get to where we look like we're really impressive without the depth being like real, like we used to have it. If that make any sense.
Yeah, I get you because, like you said, because Clemson, it seems like Clemson are on their way down from that elite status. So it seems like that. We got something going good with Van Dyke at quarterback. That kid is special, and we got the skill guys. I just think we can get better with the interior, and we can get a little more speed at the receiving spot. You're right. We can win the ACC. We can go out there and be competitive in a playoff game. Once you get there, you never know what's going to happen in the big dance. So you just gotta punch that ticket, and once you get there, then you see where you go from there.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is, like I'm just a realist. I love what Mario's doing. I love the team that we got right now, I'm loving it. But just being a realist, over the past years, we said this every year, but we looking good now, and then we get on the field and we shit the bed. So it's like we really gotta go out there and show that we belong. And I'm talking about you belong on the field with Alabama.
But X, don't you think that is okay? I'm listening to what everybody's saying, okay? But I think one thing that we also have to remember is like refer back to our history. Because when I'm listening to what Earl has said, the game has changed. I agree wholeheartedly with everything. But if you go back and look at our first national championship, when we beat Nebraska, okay? If you look at that Nebraska team, there was nothing like that. They were beating people by 50 or 60 points per game.
Yep.
And I just look at like that, and I'll tell people this because I'm old enough that I saw those games. That was not the most talented Miami team ever. But those players played with so much grit that they were, they touched the ball, they knocked the balls out, they hit Nebraska. And it was 4 quarters like a boxing round. They kept hitting them every quarter. And they were like, we're not going nowhere. And when I hear guys saying that, like we're not that far away, we're not, but we have to build, like X said and others have said, we got to build those trenches back. You got to get somebody that puts the fear in these teams. Because when you look at Alabama, let's take a good look at Alabama. It wasn't so long ago Alabama would have one top wide receiver that have 1,000 yards. Okay.
Right.
And I always say this. Look what the dynamics that changed that. When Lane Kiffin came to Alabama, and let's give Nick Saban credit, because a lot of times when you see an older person, you don't think they're going to be flexible. You're going to think they're going to be hung in their old ways. But here's the thing. Nick loves to win. He hates losing. And that was Jimmy Johnson. And if you want to win, you would do whatever it takes. Because let's be real. They got 4 or 5 stars on the entire roster. But yet, look how they cherry picking the portal. Look how Nick realized, like, I need speed. Yeah. He went got Burton. Then he just got Tyler Real. You know why? Because if you get somebody that can separate from that cornerback and he gone, all you need is a quarterback that can hit him. And Bryce Young is accurate as hell. So I'm not going to say we're not far away, but I think I agree with everyone else said. Let's fix the trenches. Let's get a speed demon. I mean, I would love to have a Jeff Thomas right now.
I love that kid.
I would love
to have Tommy Streeter right now.
Would we all want JT back on that?
Yeah. I mean, come on. I'll take a Philip Dorsett. Hell.
Yeah.
You only need one guy that can just separate. You got the other receivers. You really do. But you got to have somebody to put the fear. Yeah. And going back to what Earl said, I looked at the boy at the linebacker that's playing linebacker number 15. I can't think of his name. X, you have to bring it to me.
Number 15 for UM?
Yeah, no, for Alabama.
Oh, you talking about
Dallas Turner.
Talking Dallas.
Let me tell you this. You call that thing, you call it antler spray, you call it steroid, you call it goddamn Hercules juice. That boy, he was already had that build, that thick build.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, I remember Derek Thomas when he went to Alabama.
Right.
Okay. Let me tell you this. Turner special. And Will Anderson good, but Turner?
I think Dallas Turner might be one of the most athletic.
He is.
No, not most, dude. He picked off a pass from what I was told. He picked off a pass in practice. It was so crazy that one of the coaches who called me and was telling me about him because I was asking him how's spring ball going, and also, also to let you know, Dallas' mom she's a fit chick, and she got big legs. And his dad, DeLon, played basketball at Carol City when it was real good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's a
His
big boy.
dad is a
It's
family
genetic.
legend. His
It's
dad is a
family legend, exactly.
Yeah,
So
family
his
legend.
parents aren't little at all.
Yeah,
And
they're not small at all.
his mom, she's a workout demon. So, and then the athletic ability by him being a basketball player and also a football player. Dallas Turner, like you said, bro, Dallas might be a top 5 pick when it's his time to come out.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. That's it. Like he's just gonna do that
Yeah.
off the eye test alone.
And that's coming from the man up there.
You
Yeah,
know,
The kid
the eye
special.
test alone, he does
I feel
that. But
I feel a little weird because when we sat down with Dallas, before he left, we did the interview. I was like, "Hey, Dallas, man, you ever thought about the fact that you might go up there and might not play right away?" He was like, "Yeah, we thought about that, and I'm ready for whatever, man." My ass, that man was making plays in national championship.
man, Dallas was on the field.
Yeah,
Right.
he's special. And I'm so
Yeah,
happy
but no,
for him,
I
man,
now
because I seen the transition.
see now that's a player that you're not supposed to. I mean, that you don't want to lose from your hometown city state. You know, because he's a game changer. He could get on. Dallas could have started for us last year at defense end. You
I
know,
think
like literally.
I think Mario started keeping a lot of those kids home. Then we had a conversation about Mesidor. Right?
Who that? You say who?
Mesidor.
Oh, Metador,
Hakeem
the
Mesidor.
defensive lineman from West Virginia.
Mesidor, and you were saying inside and outside. You think Mesidor ends up playing where?
I think they're gonna push him on the inside. He's gonna be
And
an inside guy.
and so you think they're gonna push him inside? But at West Virginia, he was what?
Okay, so West Virginia was still playing like a 3-3-5, something
Yeah, they
like
play
that.
a
So
3-3 stack.
yeah,
That's what
so
they
he
run
was
over there.
basically like that the defensive end, but still could be on the inside. You know.
Similar with Cincinnati played.
Yeah.
How Cincinnati defense was.
Got you. Two things. I interviewed a doctor this weekend. Tad. He fixes ACLs. He has a technique that fixes ACLs at like half the time, get you back out down the field half the time. And he's from West Virginia. Basically, man, he didn't want to say it on camera, man, but he basically just said, "Hey, man, y'all took our best player." He was like, "Man, Mesidor is going to be really impressive for us on and off the field." Um, and also they were talking about Ja'Cory Hammond. I heard Ja'Cory Hammond been asking about Miami. I heard Ja'Cory Hammond had a hell of a spring game, and and he's gotten taller.
Oh, so
But
he's got taller, got bigger because he was out with the ACL, MCL, right?
yeah, he was out, but he back on the
Oh,
field.
so now he's back balling. I mean, and by you saying he said that we took their best player, I would hope we did the way they carried on Twitter about all that foolishness. They were talking, oh, it was bad, but yeah, we took their best player. I mean, they see a thing that's going on in Miami, man. One thing about people, I tell people all the time, I say, man, regardless, Miami is still a special place, man. If you could come down here and do what you're supposed to do at the University of Miami, your goal of going to that next level is almost there. It's right there. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is do what you're supposed to do. Cause
Is Mesidor from South Florida originally?
I have no idea. I
Probably
have no
because
idea.
West Virginia has always recruited really, really good down here. So they always got a
Yeah,
lot of local
yeah, they
kids
always
going. So
recruit good. Yeah,
that's a chance. That's a chance that he might be from down here.
I
yeah.
don't think so.
Most likely,
I think it's just
maybe.
I think he just got some link with Don when the Don was at WVU. So it's kind of him circling back around. But Earl, I wanted to ask you something about heritage in the upcoming spring. I mean, the upcoming season. And do you guys do spring football out there? And if you do, walk us through that process and
Well,
who some
He's
guys
not a
we should be on
heritage
the
I'm
lookout
anymore.
not
for.
at Heritage
He's
anymore.
not a heritage
I'm at
Oh,
St.
anymore.
Thomas
okay.
Aquinas now.
St. Thomas, he don't
Oh,
switch.
okay. Got you. Well, St. Thomas then.
He done left. He left one of the best teams to go to the best. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, St. Thomas then. Just can you tell us about how spring looks for y'all, how y'all
Mesidor from
process works, and things
Well,
like that.
but yes, one thing I love about the program over there, the way Roger does it, he is almost like me. It's almost like I'm sitting back in a college college football facility, just the way he go about doing things, you know, and very, very organized. You know, it's very everything is scripted, practice, games, the scouting reports. I mean, for everything that you would see like at a UM, you know, that's how it goes over there. And then like so right now, the first couple of days of spring practice, so since we can't be on the field in the afternoon, so we've been practicing at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's mostly like conditioning. So we out there at 6 o'clock. Well, we have install meetings at 6 a.m. and then we on the field at 6:20. And so we out there doing that, and 100% attendance. You know, that's really mind blowing to me that every kid is there. I'm talking about from the freshman team all the way up to the varsity. So right now, this is where we are so far. You know, just prior to this week, it's just been working out every day. So we just installing, and we just like UM did it in the spring game. That's pretty much how we're going to do it this spring. We're going to keep everything vanilla because I just became the defensive coordinator last week. So we're just going to keep some of the stuff that JT ran, and then once the summertime come, I can go ahead and incorporate, you know, some of my things and put it inside the defense. You know, we just changing the calls just a little bit. So we want to keep everything pretty much, like I said, the same. But as far as what we're doing right now, so that's what we're doing for the first 3 days of spring, you know, just pretty much conditioning, going out there running, you know, getting up in the morning and doing that. And then after we're done with the conditioning part, we do a walkthrough and then what we install prior to coming out on the field. So that's what we've been doing right now.
Okay, congrats on taking over for him for JT. And has there been conversation, like a little changeover process between you and him about
No,
what he
no,
was running, or is
no.
that
I
forbidden,
spoke.
or
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
is like you talking to him forbidden because he's on the Miami staff now, or do y'all have conversations, or how does that work?
No, I haven't had any conversations with him about what they're doing, but I just know they package because pretty much some of the stuff what they were going to do after he left, what Niedermeyer was going to do, because Niedermeyer he did a GA at Alabama and he did a GA at Tennessee. So mostly he was up there with Butch and not Davis, the other cats that were coached under Saban that went to Tennessee.
Oh, Butch Jones.
Butch Jones. Yeah. So he was running some of Saban stuff. So the only thing different is just the terminology, you know, and things like that. But no. So and that's some of the stuff that I already run. You know, I just call, like I said, with the terminology is just different. And but I just want to keep the calls and everything saying that because we just made this transition last week. So if I would have been here and been hired as a defensive coordinator like in January, I could have went in there and been having meetings with the guys and you know, giving them my defense. So right now we just want to keep everything the way they've been doing it so far. And like I said, during the summer, that's when I go ahead and put some stuff in that I run, some blitz packages and zone dogs and stuff like that I run that they haven't seen yet. As far as from what I do, but as far as having conversations with JT, no, I saw him out there. I saw him at the U when I went out there for that practice. We chopped it up for a bit, but it wasn't anything about X's and O's.
Okay, and then I was asking also as far as like, does St. Thomas do a jamboree? Like, do y'all play another crosstown rival? And if y'all do, who are some of the guys we should be looking out coming up in that game? Some up and comers.
No, St. Thomas and Heritage. They just have inter squad scrimmages. Just almost like They don't play against other
St.
teams.
Thomas got like what? Y'all got like 100 players out there anyway.
Bro, I saw about 50 wide receivers today, bro. I never seen anything like that. So I'm still getting to know the kids. So I don't know all of them, but I know we got the defensive backfield is ready. You got King Mack. You got he's a good safety.
It's Rob Mack's son.
No. That's Ryan Mack. That's Ryan Mack.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan Mack is Rob Mack's son.
That's right. Ryan Mack is Rob
yeah.
Mack. Okay.
He's a hell of a player. And then you got King Mack. King Mack he's a safety. He's going to be a senior. Actually, he's one of the fastest kids in the state. And you got the other kid, Huzzy, Conrad Huzzy. This kid is an athlete, man. He's a safety as well. So
don't you guys got Javante Bryan over there too, right?
Yeah,
the linebacker
from Deerfield Beach.
Okay, yeah.
The term I got from Coach Harris, who coached the linebackers at a Heritage with us, who's now the defensive coordinator at Pace. He told me when that kid went over there, he said, that kid is a straight animal.
Yeah, he's a killer. I call him killer, man, because he hits you and it's like he's trying to kill you.
Yeah, so he's over there. Yeah, man. So we got some guys over there. I'm still trying to get to know the kids because with all those kids, boy, it's a whole lot of them over there. But You know, there's a lot of kids that want to come to that school, man. You know, people coming in from out of town, taking tours, and St. Thomas, man, and one thing I like about the administration, you know, they let Roger run that program.
Yeah.
It ain't none of that. It ain't none of that funny stuff.
Yeah, they do. That's probably one of the most respectable programs in the nation, man, because they allow the coaches to do what they're supposed to do their jobs. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yep. And like I said, and he runs it like you sitting in the professional NFL meeting rooms or college meeting room, and that's something that I'm big on. You know, and just doing the X's and O's and everybody working together. You know, that's what you want, and he does a great job. It starts with him. He's a great leader.
Okay.
I got a question about Roger Harriet and guys like him. Do you think Roger Harriet aspires to coach at that next level, or is he content with doing what he called to do at this level and coaching kids up,
I can't really speak for him all the way, but what I can tell you is what I do know, and Roger and I are very, very close. We're really, really cool. But he coached at he had an opportunity to coach at Syracuse. You know, it was just too many hours away from his family. His family is more important than those hours, you know, and saying that, you know, he would have to go here to recruit and go here to recruit. So he ended up leaving there. Then he was at FAU. He coached at FAU for a minute, you know, and then he became St. Thomas coach again because he played at St. Thomas. He was a running back at St. Thomas, so he's an alum. So I think for right now, I know he loves what he's doing. You know, he has a son coming up. He have a younger daughter. He has a daughter at St. Thomas right now, and he has a daughter that's about to graduate from Purdue. She's a soccer player. All these kids are athletes. So I think right now St. Thomas is a perfect fit for him. You know, I don't think he's looking to go anywhere at the next level because he's been on that level. But I love the way he runs his program. It's like I'm on that level. It's like I'm back with Butch Davis right now, the way I was with him at FIU. But that's the way I feel here, being at St. Thomas Aquinas right now.
Cool. So if UM came calling, would you take him up on that offer?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Why you putting me in this predicament? Yeah, man. You know, it's just funny, man. I don't even want to get into that really because I remember. I was hearing rumors that like I was mad because I didn't get a job at UM and all that. It's just crazy, man. But I've also, and I've said on record that I always wanted to coach at my school. So that was a dream job. I mean, I have an interview that I did when I was with the Cleveland Browns. And matter of fact, it was LeBron James' rookie year, and I remember they was talking to me about that, and they asked me, "What do I want to do when I'm done playing football?" And I said, "I'm professional football." I said, "I want to go back home. I want to coach high school ball, and hopefully coach at my university one day because you know I grew up loving the school, grew up playing at the school, obviously played at the school, you know, whatever. But it's nothing that I've had opportunities to coach college ball, but you know I had to be here with my child. You know what I mean? I had to help guide him through." You know, and get him to where he is right now. You know, a 4.0 student. You know, he was Alabama's #1 recruit. Forget what rivals and everybody else said. You know, he was their top recruit, and he earned it. And the reason why I say that, not bragging, I'm just proud of him, and just because I know the work that he put in, and I know he's a great kid, and he listened, and he loved the game. You know, and I just had to be here for my child. So now I told him a couple months ago. I said, man, now you got your wings, man. You're on your own now, pretty much. You know, so. I can go ahead and do what I want to do. So if something comes up, you know, I'll definitely look into it. But that's nothing I'm pressing for right now.
Brag about your son, coach. Brag about your son.
Oh, all day, every day. You know, I mean, you know, he's God's child first, but at the same time, I'm proud about my son. You know what I mean? Because I know where I come from, and I know what I see too much bad stuff going on in the news about our young men, and you know, for me to have a son, for Jesse and I to have a son, that you know, just to help guide him to where he is right now. And I got 2 successful daughters as well. So, you know, Earl just the youngest, you know, and you know, we're proud of him, you know, and I'm happy for the kid.
Yeah, we proud of him too, man. Watching him from little league on to high school, man. Just proud. Another kid from our area that's achieving his goals and his dreams, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. You guys been very supportive, man, throughout the whole time. Real talk.
Always, man. So quick off topic, man. I'm finna get into I know I tweeted out some news. I had some good news about a recruit. Everybody was excited, trying to figure out who I'm talking about. So it's a kid that plays in the city of Miami. Some of y'all don't like his head coach. Some of y'all do like his head coach. He plays for Miami Edison. Name is Nathaniel Joseph, better known as Ray Ray. Uh, I was telling people that University of Miami has an excellent chance of flipping the kid, and that chance is really high. Um, he likes UM. I think UM previous staff just did a horrible job because it's like I don't understand why you don't recruit the kid because he's small. Like that was dumb. But the staff is showing that they want him.
Is that the wide receiver?
Yeah, that's the right receiver.
Yeah, I watched that kid in the spring game last year. That kid's the real deal.
Yeah, no, he's look outside of Brandon Enos, he's like wide receiver too right now.
Right.
And like I say, I don't know why you wasn't recruiting him because of his size, but that was just stupid. But yeah, University of Miami has an excellent chance of flipping the kid. I think they just got to continue showing that they want him. You know what I'm saying? Showing that they want him to be a part of school, and if they continue to do that, we have an excellent chance of flipping that guy. So that was the news that I was really going to say, but I was like, man, y'all just come into the space and then y'all to get it from there.
If we want speed, I mean, if you watch his highlight tape, that dude is a freaking blur. I mean, that's the type of kids we need to keep home. For real.
Yeah. We were talking about it today, man. If you get Robbie Washington, Nathaniel Joseph on the team, you got like two of the fastest guys within the state with the ball in their hand. And not even to add that you could add. I mean, you can still add another speedster with Jalen Brown. You know what I'm saying? Or you could get, Andy Jean back in the fold, stuff like that. So you got speed. Like you can really get your receiver class speed this year. So you're doing a good job. They I told him, man, we might have to just take 5 receivers. You take 4, and then you still add Robbie as the 5th receiver, but you could just list him as an athlete. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I stand. Like you can really take 5 if you just know you need that speed at that position. So
Yeah, Joseph's the type of guy we see go to Clemson, and everybody says, "Man, why didn't we recruit him?" Like years later, he highlights and everything, and we're the type of people like, "Wait a minute, didn't he play at Miami? How did we let that one get away?" So I'm kind of glad to hear that. By the way, but real quick, man, I appreciate y'all Street and Earl, man. I want to go back real quick to the strength and conditioning aspect because that's something that's my field and I'm very passionate about it. And I've been studying it a long time, and I've been a Canes fan for a long time, so obviously I've been following our guys. I will say this to kind of go back to Earl's point from earlier. Um, One thing about like Nick, he is obsessive with winning, and he in doing so, he goes out and he's always one step ahead. He's always looking for the next big wave before anybody else catches on to it. So in the strength and conditioning department, this dude went to Indiana and took doctor now, okay, doctor, not master's degree. We're talking Doctor Matt Rhea and then David Ballou. And these dudes were at Indiana. Nobody really knew of them, but they had started this basically train of thought of combining speed and power together, okay, to create maximum output in football players. This is still relatively a new theory, so to speak, but Nick hopped on it early, okay? Got these 2 guys down from Indiana, brought them down to Alabama, and then that's when we saw the old big Alabama from 2010, 11, and 12. 3 yards in the cloud of dust. Huge defensive line. Big. Can't run through them. And then they're going to run you to death. Right, with their big ass running backs, they're going to run you to death. Well, we saw that transition to Alabama skill players having both size and explosion, and that's because of how they train. So they got GPS trackers on these guys before anybody else was doing it, tracking heart rate, speed output, power output, velocity. All these things are very vital in an ever changing field, and we're coming from. And no hate towards the guy. I know my research, right? Andrew Swayze, a great guy. No, through some people, great guy. But we were just behind the curve for so long, where we're just in the weight room and we're just doing your basic Olympic style lifting. And then we're sending guys home and they're eating muscle milk. So we don't have a training table. We don't have actual meal plans for these guys, right? Then we go to Gus when Mark Richt came, and again, a little bit of an upgrade, but pretty much kind of the same thing. There's no cutting edge. There's no new technology. There's no getting in the front of the field. Even with David Feely. So I am excited about our new strength and conditioning coach, Aaron Field. I really think that Mario learned a lot when he was working for Saban back in 15, 16. And even Aaron Field, he was at Georgia before he went to Oregon. Okay, so he learned under the ropes. Scott Sinclair, who's at Georgia now, is another leader in the field. He's another innovator in the field, and we saw what they did last year. We saw that their guys look just as big and are just as fast as Alabama's. So I'm very excited about that aspect. I think that's something a lot of people miss. It's the strength and conditioning aspect of it, and we finally have personnel that are aware of these new these new methods, and we're going full steam ahead. So.
Okay, I remember when Nick Saban first got the job at LSU. He took one of UM trainers.
He did. He took our trainer.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Tommy Moffitt. Yep. And again, Tommy Moffitt at the time, right? At the time, that was leading edge, Olympic style lifting. How that translates to when you play football, you are on 1 foot more often than not, or we hope you're on 1 foot more often than not, right? Because that means that you're ahead of the guy next to you, right? If you're on 2 feet, you're usually a power guy. You're in the trenches, defensive line, offensive line. But if you're a receiver or you're a corner, most of the time you're going to be in an awkward position, whether you're defending or whether you're trying to score a touchdown. So that has to translate to the field. And so what has happened now is basically them scrutinizing athletes, everybody. I mean, trust me, when they were recruiting Dallas Turner, when they were recruiting Earl Little, they knew these guys' bloodlines. All right, these guys are genetic, freaks. They come from good stock. They know that. So they see a South Florida kid with amazing genes. They like, man, I can take this kid, put him in my program, and with the technology that is at our disposal at this 562 million sports enhancement facility that we just built, right? We can upgrade this kid, put him in the lab, and turn him into a freak of freak. And that's what they've been doing. So, and I've been watching this, right, for like 10, 15 years. And I'm just like, man, when are we going to, and it's just great to see that we finally putting money behind it and we getting behind the ball, because that's what it's come down to. It's no more of back in my day, we just needed a weight room, and we gotta move with the times, man. You gotta evolve with the times. So I'm glad that we're finally going that direction, because wasn't curve, man. That's what he does. That's why
wasn't that Oregon that started all that stuff? I thought Oregon was doing that like decades ago.
No, bro. No, Sergeant King hit the nail on the head, bro. That's okay. I talked about it earlier when I was saying like the strength and conditioning. Now Coach Rea, he's with the Saints now. And I just found this out last week when I was up there for A-Day for their spring game. And when we was on the official visit, when we was up there, he took Jesse and I inside of his office, and we went in there, and Earl went to go see something else. They took Earl somewhere else, and he was just giving us the lecture and showing us the data and his training tapes and showing us the actual kids that plays for Bama, the techniques and everything that he was doing, and the meal plans, the nutrition, and all the sports science that they have. They so far ahead of the game, it's crazy. And they call him the mad scientist up there, Coach Rea, because that dude right there, he's unbelievable. I told my son after walking out there, I remember we was walking down the steps. I said, bro, you probably going to be running a 4.2 by the time this guy done with you, when it's time for you to go into the NFL. Earl's like, I don't know about that, Dad. I say, he turned Mac Jones in 6 months from running 4.940s to a 4.640. This guy is special, and that's why the New Orleans Saints went and grabbed him up. But his right hand man, he's still there at Bama. So it's nothing going to change. Like you said, dude is ahead of the game, and he's been ahead of the game when he saw it. And Mario was there with that team. The best team that they've had didn't win a national championship. If you do your history on it, you do your research on it. The best team they had was that 2016 team. They ended up losing that year. That's when it started changing over there. And that's what Coach was just talking about.
Well, I got a question.
Rich, hold on. Kev had his hand up. Kev, you want to ask something? Go ahead and mute yourself.
Appreciate it, man. Fellas, how y'all doing tonight?
What's up, bro?
We good. What's up?
Good, chilling, man. Well, this question for X Streeter. So, if we can only pick 3 receivers from this next incoming class, because X talking about 5 receivers, man. I don't think we gonna pick up 5, but if you could pick up like 3, like who would be your top 3? Because I know you're gonna say Brandon.
So you want me
X
to
ain't
say my
X ain't
top
finna
3,
answer
or you
that.
want me to say the 3 that we gonna take?
X ain't finna
It's
answer
a
that.
must.
No, I'm
It's a
saying, do
must
you want me
get.
to tell you? Do you want me to say my top 3 I think we should take, or do you want me to tell you the 3 that they're gonna take?
I mean both, man. You can do both, X.
All right, so my top 3 will be Brandon Enos, Nathaniel Joseph, and William Foles. 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal top 3.
Okay.
People ask me. I think William Fowles and Dave Christian is a man amongst boys playing in high school football. He's a grown man playing out there with a bunch of boys.
Nah, but ain't he the same height as Hakeem Williams? Ain't they the
Yeah,
same height?
yeah, he's the same height. I mean, I just look. I've seen Williams do a lot. I've seen William Fowles do a lot more in high school so far. That's just me personally. But would I take Hakeem Williams? Absolutely. That's why I say 5 and not 3.
That's a lot of receivers, X.
Yeah, it's a lot to pick from.
It's okay. So now listen what y'all everybody saying. They say, well, we don't got this speed. We don't got this and this and that at receiver. So we don't got that. You got to kind of eliminate what you don't have and say, hey, man, you can't really. We not saying you can't play here, but we got to look for the players that can play here.
Yeah, and I got something to add to that. First of all, it's an honor to be on the phone with Street, X, and Earl. Man, y'all my
Thank you,
idols.
brother.
Earl, you the GOAT, bro. I love you, man. I've always loved you. I've been a Hurricane fan since 1978. That's dating my old ass, but so I've been through all the struggles.
Right.
The question I have for you fellas is Reuben Bain Kane. He is my must get. I love him. You already know I know all about his family and everything, but I just want y'all's opinion on what do y'all think? Is he gonna be a Kane or what?
Yeah, he'll be a Kane. He's gonna be a Kane on signing day. Y'all
1,000%.
Stop worrying about that one. Now he'll be a King, man.
Yep.
I mean, he's enjoying the process, man. One thing I tell fans is, a lot of these kids, when COVID hit, a lot of them kids never got to travel to the schools. So they're able to start traveling to schools, man. If the school paying for them, go get that, man. Go, trust me. You know what I'm saying? So he's enjoying the process. And he's loving the new coaching staff. And I won't even say it has much to do with his family. He's just loving the coaching staff. They making it a priority. Hey, we want you here. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you get a guy who has 29 sacks. You don't want him to leave, so they're making him a priority. So he'll be a future King.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he's a hell of a player, man. I met him. I met him in person. I met him up in July in Alabama, and I was looking at him, and I was like, man, I knew his dad. I met his dad years ago, and but he's a great player, and I obviously playing against him, and I remember watching him. Went out there and I watched him play Northwestern, and I was like, this kid is an animal, man. And so if they can keep a kid like that at the crib, and I think like somebody said something about it. I think that was you just said it, X, how the coach is just making them feel real good, whatever. And they just recruiting him, and I'm pretty sure they probably got somebody reaching out to him every day, and that's like you got to win at this game at the battle of recruiting, man, because you just certain guys, you just can't let it get away, but he's one of those guys you can't. So I think they doing. I don't know too much about his recruiting, but I can tell you right now, from knowing what I know and watching Mario recruit Earl from out in Oregon, I know Mario going in hard. I know he's going at him hard.
Oh yeah, no man. Listen, we interviewed the kid a while back. And then the funniest thing is all the kids say the same exact thing. They say, "Yeah, man, Mario, he be up texting us around 5, 4, 5 in the morning." I be like, "Man, what?"
Yeah,
Like, man, y'all be sleeping. He texting y'all in the morning. Like, yeah, man, he do it like he do it throughout the day.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, well, so you know, if Mario has that, and then Mario he's requiring all his coaches to do the same thing, man, it's hard to not say these coaches not showing the love. They are. They there. I mean, that's just what Mario requires. So I just know the recruiting is a whole lot better. And he said he like, yeah, man, they recruiting him hard, like extra hard. So we'll see. I'm not expecting him to commit anytime soon, though. He can commit, but I think it'll probably either be right before the season or during the season.
As long as we get him, I don't care. I'm good.
Yeah, we gonna get him, man. For one, I don't think his uncle gonna let him leave the state, man. His uncle definitely gonna put him in a chokehold or something, man. So
I know Uncle Cool, but I think he's getting screwed on his stars big time.
well, that look, I don't like to even get into that. He's not the traditional 6'5", 6'6"
right.
height defensive end, but his production level is better than the traditional. You know what I'm saying? 29 sacks in Miami is hard. Like that's impressive. So yeah, we don't even get into the stars. I mean, he's a 5-star from football good. That's so you got that star right there. That's
Yeah,
5 stars from football good.
yeah, don't get too caught up. I get exactly what you're saying about the stars, but don't get caught up in that stuff, man. And because that's one thing I always told my son. I said, just continue to grind, make plays on the field on Friday nights, and everything will come. Which he never was caught up in them anyway. But just gotta, he hearing it from me, and things like that. So I also don't get caught up in it because, like one coach told me, he said, think about this. He said, those guys that be making those stars and all that. He said, I don't even really look at that stuff. He said, I would watch guys based on what they do on their tape. Not off just the huddle highlight tape. I like to watch their game film.
Yeah.
And he says, just think about the guy. He said, who's the top guy that does all this recruiting? I said, what, that guy Tom Lumenville or whatever his name is? He was like, yeah. He said, guess what that guy was doing prior to doing what he's doing now? I was like, I don't know. He said he was a freaking mailman. He said, you think I'm gonna listen to that guy? So don't even. So my point is, don't even get caught up in that. You know what I mean? So that's why I just watch the kid on tape. He's out there making plays, and like X said, he doesn't have the ideal size, but you look at a guy like Aaron Donald. You look at certain guys like that because the game has also changed all around. It's just more speed. You're not gonna and go back to the receivers when you guys were talking about the receivers not long ago. You ain't really now the 50-50 balls in the red zone. Yeah, I get it, but that's when you can match up your cornerbacks. Like when I was in Cleveland, we had Dalen McCutcheon. He was covering Hines Ward. We had Anthony Henry on Plexico Burrs. Anthony Henry 6'2", so we wasn't going to put Dalen on it. But in the middle of the field, Dalen can cover any one of those guys. So, but now, what you going to tell a kid, Tyreek Hill? Oh, man, we're not going to get you because, you're not the biggest guy or whatever. But he's making plays on tape. So go get these guys, because the game is it's almost like a quick game, man. It's RPOs and quick games and getting the ball to these guys in space and letting them go to work. All that, the 6'2", 6'3" guys like Michael Irvin and Megatron and all of those days, I don't want to say they long gone because you need some big guys out there. But this game is so spread out and so quick nowadays, man. You better not look over a guy like the kid from Edison. And he fits Mario's offense well because you look at the offense, what they did in Oregon, they have speed guys like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Rich, you got a question?
So going back to strength and conditioning, I just wanted to know, if when we had back when we was, let's go back to the 01 team in particular, and going back to guys like Santana Moss that was running, 4.3s or better. Was it more so just taking the top talent that was out there, or were we, or was our strength and conditioning just better than everybody else's? because a lot of our athletes were putting up real freak of nature numbers back then. So
Well,
which
Yeah,
which one was
I
it?
could say for the most part, okay, when Howard and Jimmy got UM started to just say, well, we're gonna get the fastest guys on the field
Right,
and we're
right,
gonna make them strong. I mean, they're gonna be strong. They don't have to be the biggest, but they're gonna be fast and strong. Playing against Oklahoma's, the Notre Dames of them back in the days, they was just big,
right.
but they couldn't run. So kept that going for so long, and then other schools started picking up, say, hey, well, we just can't keep letting them get all the fast guys. We got to get fast guys too. So what happens when you in LSU or Ohio State and you can get you some fast guys and then you can get the big guys too. You know what I'm saying? And oh yeah, I can only get the fast guys. Y'all don't got the big guys down there. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of schools caught up and then surpassed because we were stuck at, well, we was only going to get the fast guys.
Got you.
The game evolves, man, and like Sergeant Kane said, it's just with the sports science that evolved as well. It's evolution. So so I think it's a combination of both, and nobody's wrong in here. I think we're all right. We also got some good suggestions and good advice and things what we're talking about. So it's just like gumbo, man. Everything is mixed up, but you gotta be able to keep up with the times, man, because it's that old saying. You don't get on that train, and even if you get off, the train going to continue to go. So
It's going to
I
keep
just,
going.
yeah, so I just think that's where we are nowadays, and to go back to it's always going to come down to, hey man, this kid leaving, why did he leave, whatever. But it comes down to recruiting. So it's a mixture of both when it comes to this college football stuff, man. Because I know for a fact, and I've been in there with the best of them, which is Butch. It is 24/7, 365. And you just got to pound that pavement, man. You can't say, oh man, we're not going to get him because like I said, the ink hasn't dried. So you never know. So you got to push it, and then if you get him, you get him. If you don't, you don't. But you just can't go out there and not recruit guys hard and not build these relationships with family members and stuff like that. Because the key to it, from what I was told with Butch, you got to find out who's close to that kid and that family, and you got to get to know that person and build a relationship with that person. That's one of the key ingredients into recruiting. And then as far as when it goes to my son, I didn't see that from that program. DVD did a hell of a job, but DVD is not the head coach. And then if you think about it, everybody like X, you knew Earl was a dog since he was in Little League, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was never asked if you wanted to get into recruiting him and get to know him better, and see where he is and have that special relationship with a legacy kid at that. You could have invited me to work at the Paradise Camp. I was never asked. That's not me. Like I told him, Earl don't recruit the school. You have to recruit him. So you got to use all your tools and all your resources to get these guys, especially when a kid like that is a dog. You got to use everything that you can. It was none of that. And it's not my job to go over there and put that on you, because you have to build that relationship with that kid. And then also, with the parents. But to have that one foot in, you could have had both foot in from the jump if you could have got him out there at the Paradise Camps, or whatever. I'm just saying, this is just something that I thought about afterwards. You got to be able to use your resources when it comes to this recruiting. Especially with a kid like that who's a legacy kid.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, just by the example that Earl just said, just look at Mario comes in instantly. Mario hires Ruben Bain's
Roland,
brother.
yeah.
He comes back and coach. Then he goes and hire Ruben Bain's high school coach, and then brings. I don't know if the linebacker coach was at Central when Ruben Bain was there. Probably not, but he still has connection. He comes and brings him back from Florida State. He
Talking
still got
about Saab. Talking about Saab. That's my boy.
by Saab. You know what I'm saying? So he still got connections. It's like Mario understands. Like he understands exactly what it takes. Man, it's just a fortunate, sad situation with the previous staff, man. The head man didn't understand it. And I tell people this. They're like, well, yeah, he grew up in Miami. I say it's different from growing up in Miami and seeing it And it's a difference from growing up in Miami and being a part of it. And that's why you'll see the difference from Mario and Manny, because one was a part of it. He didn't just watch on the outside. He was a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where he knows we got to get back to where we was doing this.
And I don't think Manny's a bad person at all, because I don't know him. I honestly I don't know him. I just think that the people skills probably wasn't there, and that's also what I've been hearing, and I don't think anybody just there's some people out there complete a-holes or whatever, but I don't think that, it's just that I didn't know him and we didn't know him, and it never reached out to the family, so there was no relationship there, and that's just something that I don't think will ever happen at UM, especially as long as Mario there.
Yeah, Manny was basically the politician side of him stuck out more than the coach, and that was his biggest downfall. It was more of a political side of him doing things on the field, as a coach, instead of just being the coach.
Right.
So, but yeah, we're not even gonna discuss that. We head in the right direction right
now. Yeah, and they still got a lot of guys that was on that staff that are still there that are doing a great job. So
yeah, DVD for one. And the thing about DVD, man, is all of the kids, all of the parents love DVD, man. They all got the greatest things to say about DVD.
Right. Yeah, we joked around when I was out there. We had been talked months ago after the little situation that happened on Twitter. But DVD has always been my boy, man. And he's always, I've been knowing him since he was in high school. He's a great guy. He does a great job over there at the school. He's doing a great job with him, man. And like you said, I'm not surprised that all the parents and all the kids, love him, because he has a great relationship with my son. So like I said, he did an excellent job recruiting Earl, an excellent job.
Yeah, man, he's one of our guys, man. Coach Stevens Field, he's another man. He's another hound dog on that recruit, boy. He gets out there and gets what he wants at that position.
Yeah.
We got a good staff, man. It's not enough I can say about them. They just doing everything that needs to be done to get the program where it needs to be.
How you like how my boy James looking?
Who say James Williams?
Yeah, that's
Listen, Big Game James. Talk about Big Game.
That's my boy. I had the luxury of coaching him for his senior year, and I told you guys, I said they got a good one, and that kid right there, man, he's everything that you want in a football player.
Man, I've been watching James since James was like 7 years old, and from that moment he was 7 years old, I kept telling him, I said, boy, that kid gonna be raw.
Yeah, I coached him in 6th grade when he made FBU. I was on that staff.
Oh yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah, I was like, man, look at this tall this kid is. He's in 6th grade.
Yeah, man, and it was so crazy. It was so crazy because Streeter would basically have to tell you all the names that was on that team, but the two that I remember was James and T2.
Yeah, James.
And I was like, yeah, man, whatever school them guys go to together, they gonna terrorize college campus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I spoke with him. I spoke with him when I was out there on Tuesday. We took a picture together and all that. I said I was gonna post it. I haven't posted yet. I talked to him, and he said, Coach, man, I don't leave this facility, man. I'm over here all day, and I always just gave him good words, man. And he's one of my favorite kids that I've ever coached, because the kid is such a football guy, and he knows the game. He's so smart and his passion. Like him and Earl click real good, man. And I think they was working out together today or whatever. But James, man, he's a special kid, man. I'm so proud of him, man. And but I'm not surprised with his success, because I saw it back then, and I saw it, and he looked really, really good, man. His weight is great. He's like 214, and so, man, he wants it, man. So he can play anywhere on that field, but he's a special talent, man. And I'm just so happy for him, because he's such a smart player, man. I'm talking about he's a football guy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you this, because we still got some fans that I don't know why they want to put the man down as a defensive end or a linebacker. Could you tell these people that this man is a safety?
Yeah, he's a safety, and he's one of those guys where, like, he can go down in the box and play, but with the talent and the ball skills that he has and the quarterback skills that he has, as far as making the calls and making the checks back there, he's weighing 215. He's weighing at 214 right now. But he just looked good, man. I was out there looking at him when I went out there to go watch him. I stood over there by his group the whole time, watching him. And yeah, James is a defensive back, man. And but he can go down and, like, he can play the money position. Like, when they go 6 DBs, they can put him down at the money position. But a guy like him, obviously, he just got to get a little bit better at the tackling. But that
Yeah.
goes
He just got to wrap up. He just got
but
to
that's
wrap up.
that's
Yeah, he just got to
everybody.
wrap
And
up.
he was a freshman, so now you learn. I got these guys are bigger and stronger than when I was in high school. I was that guy. Now
Yeah.
these guys are, you talking about a 19-year-old kid, and he's playing against guys that's 22 years old, 21 years old. So
Yeah.
they're a little
Yeah.
bit more developed. Know what I mean? But that's going to come. That was his first year, and I'm so proud of him. He definitely gonna be in the NFL one day. But yeah, he's a safety, man. He's a safety. Now,
Yeah.
to ask him to go cover that slot guy, you don't, because you won't do that. You know what I mean? Only an idiot would do that. So if it's 11 personnel, I put him in there. I have him cover that tight end if it's a man coverage. Now I could line up over him in the zone, in the zone scheme or whatever. But why would you do that? Because the NFL and college football and all football, if you're doing it right, is all about matchups.
Yeah.
All about
Yeah,
matchups. So
he definitely would have got put in a slot matchup if the same staff was here. But since since X brought it up, I got a question because we was talking about this. So Earl, you pay attention to the team, like kind of like what what kids or what they do good and all that stuff, right? You pay attention to the team.
for the most part, I don't know all their names or whatever, but
Hmm.
but I keep up with my school. I definitely keep up with the program.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because me and X was talking about this a couple of shows ago.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy.
No,
Here we go.
no. You might like this one. So we were saying we probably gonna line up with what, like 5 DBs, right? 5
Yeah,
DBs.
yeah,
Yeah.
most
5.
So
likely.
you got Avante, you got Cam, and you got James. Where are you lining those three up at? Somebody's got to be free range, somebody's got to cover, do more of the covering, and another guy's got to be in the box. Like, how are you lining that up with those three?
I think with James and Devontae, you could put either one of them down there as a star or have them back or the money position.
What would you like to do?
What I would like to do if I had to
Mm-hmm.
bring one down in the box, like over the star area,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's tough. James so tall, man, he can cause problems right there.
Right.
He can cause
I think
problems.
me and X thought process was I know
Put
I
Vontae down there.
personally
Yeah. I say
I
put
would
Vontae
rather
down there.
and have
Vontae down
James
there.
because James 6'5". I want him back there free range. I don't want nothing to go over his head.
Yeah, he got range, but at the same time, when you got a guy now in zone concept situation, you put him down there and drop him down that box, with those RPOs, and you put him in there, his wingspan and quick as he is to be that size, that can cause some problems down there as well. But definitely, if I want to roll him to the middle of the field, he got that range, he can go over there and get it. So that's why I say it's so hard, because their attributes, they can bring so much to the game that they can that you wouldn't be wrong. But ideally, yeah, I can see where you guys going with putting what's his name, Vontae?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vontae. Yeah.
Yeah, put him down there. I think he's wearing 15, right?
Yeah. He number 15.
Yeah.
But he fast though. He real athletic.
That's the only
That
reason why I
boy's
say
a
put
missile,
Vontae
boy.
down there is because Vontae, if you got him at star and you say you want to walk him up to cover a slot, he's fast enough.
Right.
And
Yeah,
to
that's
cover
what
a
I'm
slot.
saying. It's more ideal, but that's the big plus that we have to having both guys like that you can put both of them. Not so now, if you want to go to that money package, now you can put James down there, and you can have him down there, and then you have Cam on the back end, and then you could put whoever else that's up and coming that got some game as well on the back end. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things you play around with him, but you, like you said, you could put Vontae there, put him there, and keep him there at the star. You got James on the back end, but it is so much with the packages, because that's where the game just comes with packages. So you know what I mean. So I can have you there one play, and I can have him down next play. You know, because like Tom Brady said on his wristband, he said we had to know where Ed Reed was at all times. That was on his wristband. So with a guy like James, you know, you can mix both of those guys up, and they're making plays. Man, you got to play chess while you're out there. You can't be out there playing checkers.
Yeah, I think
I
Coach
think
Phil
Jay is
going
the
to be.
second coming of Ed Reed.
No. We're not going to say that. We're definitely not going to say that. We're not going to say that. There's nobody second coming of Ed Reed. That's it. There's nobody Ed Reed. There's nobody Sean Taylor, because we always try to.
They're my two favorite safeties to play at the school right there.
Yeah, we're not going to compare.
And I got them both at number one. I don't got one to 8, one they both number one.
I give you the comparison like this if y'all want to say that, because you're right. We ain't finna have another one of those two come along. But I think we'll have, if I would say Cam will be the cerebral part of Ed Reed, and I think James would be like the freak athlete version of Sean Taylor. But I think they'll be their own individual players. I think they'll be their own individual names.
So they have the talent level to do that. You know what I'm saying? They just have to do it. I played against Sean Taylor in high school. I watched Sean Taylor at UM. It's just I don't think I ever seen a player like that to do the things he did at that size.
That dude is special, bro.
It was just unbelievable watching him play. You're like, dang, this guy's really like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But Cam, his IQ level is up there.
James too. James super smart.
James and Cam IQ, and that's why I say I would rather them two be on the back end and Avonte closer to the line, because not saying Avonte his IQ level is bad, but Avonte he's an aggressor. He wants to hit.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody wants to hit, you basically want them close around the ball, the ball, instead of them just sitting back there 15 yards waiting for something to come. Because now in their head they saying I want to hit. They might mess up a play.
Yeah, he's close. He's close. That's the good thing about being able to play that star position, because you get a physical guy that can fill that that B and that C gap. He always quick enough, and he has the cover skills to cover a slot wide receiver. You know, I know some people had questioned, like, because Earl, we kept him all over the secondary at Heritage, but we kept him at that star because you have that extra special player that can help out in the run game, because all that 4-3 stuff, is over with, bro.
Dead.
It's dead. I'm telling you, you put 3 linebackers out there, you ready to get your ass smashed.
Yeah, man. You don't play Wisconsin that week. That's it.
Exactly. Or Army, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so everybody's running the nickel, which is 4-2-5, because and it helps bring more athletes out there. And it's almost like a 3-4. You got the 3-4, you can bring those 2 backers on the outside backers. They can rush, they can drop in coverage. You put more athletes on the field. And now with everybody running 10 and 11 personnel, you can't go out there in no 4-3 defense. Man, people will tear you up, bro.
Yeah, they eat your line. I mean, I keep telling fans, they be like, well, with 4-3, we need. I said, no, you don't need.
Man, that's over
10 linebackers. You need 2 good linebackers, because you got other players that they're gonna put on the field with those 2 linebackers.
Bro, you put 3 linebackers out there. You asking to lose your job against a 10-11 personnel set, which is 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, 2 back. I'm sorry, one back in the tight end. 10 personnel, you got 4 wide receivers, one back. So you go out there playing around with all this RPO and all this quick game with 3 linebackers, because 3 of those linebackers not moving like the kid that played for the Colts. The middle linebacker that played for the Colts. From HBCU
He's
school.
moving. He's moving like a running back.
But if you look at most linebackers now, they look like old school safeties.
Yeah.
That can cover. And I'm gonna tell you, when I first saw Sean Taylor, I saw him at Pittsburgh as a freshman. Then when Butcher first came to Cleveland, and we took a bus over to the game. It was a Thursday night game. They played Pittsburgh, and Chuck Pagano was telling me. He showed me Vince Wilfork. I was like, that dude right there is an animal. He was like, yeah, because I was just looking at his size, right, the way he was shaped. And then he showed me Sean Taylor, and he was like, yo, this kid right here, he's first round draft pick already, Earl. That was Chuck Pagano. Showed me Antrell Rowe, and I'm looking at these kids, and I'm like, wow, okay. Sure enough, they get out the field late in the game, they do their thing. And then I hadn't seen Sean Taylor until his rookie year. We played them in a preseason game in Cleveland. And every time we would play somebody, I made sure I go to the roster. I look on the roster and make sure, okay, he from the U, so let me go holler at him. Man, I saw Sean Taylor, bro. I couldn't believe how big this kid was at safety and was moving like that. That was crazy.
Man,
So
listen,
he's a special kid that God created, man, for that position.
Special. Listen, when I played him, he's at Gulliver. I never heard that school before. I like Gulliver. Who the hell is like, man? This school sucks. They was gonna blow them out, man. They kept all day throughout the day in school up to the game. They're like, boy, they got this dude. Number one, he raw, like they say he raw this and this. I'm like, man, he goes to Butler, like he can't be that good because I never heard this school before. Man, we go for the coin flip, and I tell you no lie, the man ain't blink at all. His eyes look straight, and I was like, once we got off the field with the coin toss, I said, yeah, boy, we might have us a problem because that man ain't blink. He ain't blink, he ain't smirk, he ain't smile. And they beat us, he scored all the touchdowns. They beat us by, I think, 2 points or something like that. And I was like, okay, yeah, I was telling the truth. This guy's wrong. He like that.
Yeah, that kid.
Bro, do y'all remember how big he got when he got to Washington?
That's what I'm saying. When I saw him his rookie, it was his rookie year, and I remember looking at him in the preseason game, and we were standing in the end zone, full uniform now, right before the game, and he seemed like he was kind of quiet and shy when I was talking to him, and I was like, "What's up, home team?" What I'm looking, I'm like, "Damn, boy, you bigger than I thought you were." He just kind of like giggled, whatever. We just dapped each other up, man. But that kid, man, I've been a fan, when Chuck Pagano showed him to me, I was like, yeah. I like this kid because he almost decapitated Larry Fitzgerald in that game.
Oh yeah, I remember that play.
Yeah.
I remember that play. Yeah. Now that was just a special type of talent, man. But James got that in him because he has that type of talent in him where he could do certain things that you'll be amazed that a guy his size could do. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, no, he's got it. He's got it. He just got to be. Hey, man, 26 was a hunter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you want to describe, no, Ed, don't get it twisted. I'm the biggest Ed Reed fan on the planet. But JT, man, he had that killer, like I'm a come and snatch you out the ocean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, he was different about it. He was different. And Earl, I'm gonna ask you a question real quick. Okay, them teams that were like that back then, okay? And we was that team. We had JT, we had Ed on the same team. In today's football, how would that translate?
I think we're having two guys like that on the same team.
At the same time, like they were, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it would work. It would work well. I just think that it started with the guys at top, meaning the head coach, the position coach. Because sometimes egos can get caught up in things like that. But when you got two special guys like that, and you somehow, some way, you got to find a way to get them on the field. And I think that's what you'll see this year going forward with UM. Now, I saw all three of those guys on the field last year. I think it was the NC State game I went to, and I saw all three of them.
Yeah. Like, I think after, once Avante got back on the team, or once he was able to play, they started trying to get him back on the field. And
right.
Then that's when you was able to see James Williams start coming around the ball of scrimmage, getting around the line, coming up, blitzing and stuff like that. That's when you start seeing the three of them. And Kevin still said, he say, man, I got something for you. I'm gonna work my three safeties. He kept saying, like, I'm gonna get them on the field.
You have to, because you'll be a fool not that, because that is so much great talent that you just can't have one of those dudes sitting and say, okay, I'm gonna play you in the second half, or we're gonna switch up every two series. No, those guys got to be on the field at some point at all times.
Earl, you made the perfect point. Like a player can't be as special as he can be without schematics, without the coaches.
Oh, no
if they're not putting him, if they're not putting him in the right position or letting him be able to be that freak, then he's just gonna be a guy that flashes from time to time.
Yeah, there's some schemes, and then you can see it in the NFL. You know, you could just and some players just not good in certain schemes. Not that he's a bad football player. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that the scheme doesn't fit because everybody is not a man cover guy type defensive back. Everybody is not a zone type defensive back. Then you got that guy like myself that you can play me in quarters. You can play me. I can play quarter man type. You can put me in the zone. I can play it, and I also can play man coverage. But you know, nowadays, you put a guy like remember the guy Asamoah that played for the Raiders that was locking everybody down.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
now
They
yeah, yeah,
ran a
now
yeah,
lot of
they
yeah.
man. They ran a lot
yeah
of man, right? And
now
then
they
when he went to Philly, it was totally different for him.
mm-hmm.
You get your Sante Sam. You can't take nothing away from that brother. That brother's a baller. He's a ball hawk. He did better in the New England Patriots zone type than when he went to Philly in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah, yeah.
So it's just
Mm-hmm.
certain schemes. Like I played with Robert Griffith. Robert Griffith was an animal
Minnesota.
at Minnesota. Then when he come to us, you don't have those dogs like that around. And it's not taking anything away from Robert. Where we played a little bit more zone man concept. And he was a good player. But it just didn't fit him the way he did it in Minnesota. So those are just some examples. So it just that's why the GMs and the scouting department got to do their thing. Then sometimes you just can't resist on some guys when you're talking about the professional level because he make plays, so you got to pay him or whatever. And then but on the college level with these guys that we have with Cam, Vontae, and James, that's a special group, man.
Hey, quick,
Hey,
quick, quick, quick. Okay, so I just heard 513 Kane say, what do you do when you got Sean Taylor and Ed Reed on the same team? Okay, so let's rewind back to that '01 team, that '01 secondary. I think people don't credit James Lewis and Fitzpatrick enough on that in that secondary, how good they were.
yeah. Fitzgerald and Fitzgerald, Rump, Reed. Them boys
It
them
was
boys
it
wasn't
was it
allowing no
was
touchdowns, no nothing.
Rump, Philip Buchanan, Ed Reed, James Lewis, and
And
Fitzgerald
Fitzgerald.
was like the
Yeah.
I know the team.
nickel.
Chuck Pagano told me that Philip Buchanan was the most athletic cornerback that he's ever seen in the secondary.
A straight freak.
Straight freak athlete. Now, to ask that question, yeah, we know what Sean Taylor turned out to be, but a lot of times you guys have to understand, I don't care how good he is, sometimes the process of learning the playbook and making those checks and making those calls, it doesn't, because you've been playing high school ball, you've been playing cover one, cover three, cover two, or just straight zero man. Now, and the way I like to teach it, I'm gonna give you different zone concepts. We're gonna play, typical quarter halves, whatever. You mix it up with them, give them some zone dogs. You can do that nowadays, but back then, and even to this day, the learning process, because some kids they learn better by watching film. Some kids going to learn better by doing walkthroughs. So that can also not get a kid on the field. And then at the same time, you got to think about this, guys. Am I going to trust this freshman to come out there on the field, no matter how talented he is? Because if his ass don't go out there, if he go out there, he mess up, my job gonna be on the line. I still
Yeah,
gotta feed my kids. So I'm gonna go with it because when you're in these staff meetings, coach gonna ask you, hey man, such and such is playing good. He's looking good. All right, cool. Put him out there, but then now when you got 80,000 people out there and things are on the line and these bullets are flying for real, just using that as a metaphor. I don't want nobody to get too crazy with it like they did Kellen when he was saying there was a fucking war, you know. But yeah, man. So you got to make sure that you got to be able to trust that kid because I know a kid that played college ball this year, and I talked to him when he came to my house, during Christmas break. He was hanging out, him and Earl and all the guys hanging out, and I asked him. He said, man, he was kind of worried. He was kind of upset that not being a crybaby, but because he wanted to play, his passion for the game, but he was making a lot of mistakes in practice, and he'll get an interception here, he'll do good, but he was like, if I make one mistake, I'm like, yeah, you're a freshman, so he's trying to see where you are mentally because when you get out there in front of 80,000 people, and it's totally different. You go peeing down your leg, he got a family that he needs to feed. And he go in that staff meeting room, he telling coach, hey, yeah, I trust him. I can put him out there. Then he get out there and he blow a coverage and it costs him. Coach looking at him crazy. So I think with the experience and putting them out there, give them some little PT, here and there. You just gotta work guys in there, man. Because if you don't want to. Now you don't want to get the kid. He done got his butt beat up so much. Now he don't even know how to come out and recover from that.
Earl,
Yeah,
I appreciate everything you laying down, bro. I mean, I know.
Thank you, man.
No. You're greatly appreciated because that knowledge is worth paying for. I'm gonna hit you guys with something else that's really close to the heart, and you already know because I know you'll feel it too, Earl. And it's Blades. How do y'all see his role with the team this year? And I'm praying to God it's positive. And I just need to hear it from people that know.
Well, I can speak on it because I was up there real quick. I was out there a couple weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago, it's been when I was out there that Tuesday. They moved him to safety, and from the information that I got, he's playing better. He's feeling more comfortable out there, and you can see it the way he was playing around, And then so there was some personal things that happened with him and the coach last year that I can't really speak on, but but now things are good, man. They got him in the position that better fits him. I think his only problem just by watching him is not finding that ball when you out there to go find that ball. Because sometimes it's once that ball is in the air, you got to turn into a wide receiver. And trusting your abilities to make plays. But I think by him being a little bit further back from the line of scrimmage, I can see the energy is different. So I think this could be something good for him, going forward. And I think he's embracing this role that they got him playing right now.
Wait, Earl, can you speak on that?
They had
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Playing, they had him playing some safety. They had him playing some star money position. They had him playing some outside corner. I think they were just trying to work his way into getting back on the field because he's been out almost 2 years. Without playing, you know what I'm saying? So just to get his confidence back, they trying to figure out which position and which spot he feels more comfortable at. In the spring, I felt like his best spot was the star position, guarding the slot receivers. He looked it really good guarding the slot receivers. He looked like our best slot corner cover guy. So
that's great because you've been out there a lot. That's great. And see, another thing that adds so much value to him when it's time for those people to come out there and try to give him a job at that next level. So now he's showing that he can play the star, he can play safety, he can play corner, and then he got that pedigree. So that's good for him. I'm happy for the young man because, like you said,
he looked real good during spring at covering the slot, man. And when they switched and move Couch out to the outside, I said, well, maybe they onto something because the previous years it was opposite. It was Couch on the slot, Blaze on the outside, and you like, well, Couch can't really tackle that good when he's in the slot.
Yeah, you don't want to put him in if he's not physical enough and don't want to come in there and tackle you. Now you might not put him at that star.
Yeah, so once they put Blaze there, then Blaze just looked like he just was a whole lot better player, man.
And I like Couch. I like Couch a lot. I really like.
Yeah, no, Couch is good, man. Couch has had some mental issues last year, man. It was just a lot of them had some mental issues, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot that they had to deal with, man.
Hey,
a
Earl,
lot of people don't know about.
Earl, can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like, I remember when Blaze and Ivis were starters, that was my biggest problem was their inability to look for the ball or find the ball. And I found that shit weird because I know Rump is a damn good teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
Is it just that you may not have that natural ability to feel when the ball is coming, when the ball is in the air? Because they never used to look back for the ball, and that shit used to kill me.
Yeah, it kills me too, man, and I don't understand it because since I was little, man, I always wanted to go get that ball. Now I bang you up, I hit you, but I always wanted to go get that ball because it gives that. There's not a greater feeling than getting an interception in the game for one, and then two, you give and also one, I should say, you're giving the offense more opportunities to get on the field and score. If we can't make that pick a touchdown, but some kids, and I'm talking about even on the high school level, I've coached kids where they're right there in position to make a play on the ball, and they would just not look for the ball. I just think some kids just afraid. It's like a phobia or something that they have when they out there playing that they will not turn and find the ball. And that's going to be the difference between this kid getting paid and you not getting paid the money that you deserve to get paid, but you didn't go out there and you didn't just turn around and find the ball. Because when you out there, if I'm in phase with you, if I'm in position to find that ball, I'm going to turn my head or whatever techniques I can use and work in practice. Because I guarantee you, they worked on the techniques in practice. It's just some guys get in the game and they just afraid to make plays. And you can't be afraid to make plays on that back end.
Mm. I just find that weird because I thought it's really just a natural thing. Even just as a kid,
Right.
coming up playing little league, playing in the street, when the ball in the air, I feel like that's my ball. I feel like that's
Exactly.
how most people play.
But some guys, it's something in. It's like, how can I put it? It's almost like you see that fastball coming down the pipe, and you know it's a 3-2 count, and you know you're gonna throw that fastball. That's a high percentage, so I'm just gonna swing. I know that ball is coming because his eyes are getting big, and he's looking. So now I got to find that ball and make a play on that ball. And some guys just won't do it. They just
Yeah,
won't. I don't understand it.
I've actually heard of a coach not teaching that. I had a cousin that played college, and I used to ask him, like, why y'all don't never turn for the ball when the ball is in the air? They say the coaches want them to make sure they make the tackle, have good coverage, and just make sure you make the tackle. I said, they don't tell y'all to turn for the ball. They was like, no, they want us to make sure we're in position. I said, get the fuck. This is D1 too.
Yeah, I've
I was like, wow.
heard that. I've heard that in the past as well.
Yeah, I'm
That
about to
just
say
that's
I've
just
heard
crazy.
that. I heard that a couple times too, but not gonna say some of them coaches still got their job though.
But that's playing scared. So you playing scared because you
Yeah,
think
nah, man.
now
One
and you
thing the
still lose
head
your
coach,
job anyway.
one thing the head coach gonna always agree with is if your defense could get the turnover, he don't care how you do it, but if you get that turnover, I'm happy. You know what I'm
Dog,
saying?
that's what they want. On the chalkboard, on every defensive meeting room during the season, you want to create turnovers. That's in the game plan. That's on the last scouting report that you would get, maybe that night before the game, the day before the game, that we got to create turnovers. So I don't understand why a guy would tell a guy don't look for the ball, just make a tackle. Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
That's
one
silly.
of the main offenders that I'm really personally connected with through family is Ivy. Um,
Oh my
and
gosh.
man, when that guy joined the team, I was so happy. I was like, man, this dude is the future. And from seeing him in games, guys, I'm touching on this because of his lack of being able to turn his head to find the ball. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. I mean, the guy's got a NFL body. He looks like a stud, and he's got all athletic ability, and just won't turn his head.
And that's
I
what keeps
think
them.
Ivy, and Earl could probably speak on this. Certain Ivy probably lacks or not lacks. He just has he don't have the confidence where he just feels comfortable enough to turn his head. Because at the same time, he's thinking, if I turn my head and they make this play, then I get beat. You know what I'm
Because
saying? So
you know where that come from?
a lot of cornerbacks think like that. They think,
Yeah.
well, if I get beat, like now I'm the top, I'm the last, or I might get
But I feel
big.
I feel like if you catch the ball, you beat me anyway. So what I'm gonna sit there and just let you catch it and make the tackle for? I feel like I'm already beat.
But you know what that come from? That come from in an instance where with the film study now and nowadays, receivers and coaches are looking to see if this player is a ball hawk. He's looking to see if he's always turning because now they finna give him a double move. They know when he gonna look for the ball.
Yeah.
And he gonna get beat. He gonna get beat for the touchdown. He ain't gonna get beat for a couple of yards, a little bit of yak. He gonna get beat for that touchdown because when he get caught on that dig or whatever, and then the receiver turn it back up, and he got to say it's and the quarterback throw it out there. He beat and it's for 6. So I think that's what's the reason why some of these DBs don't turn their head and look for the ball because I think naturally if a DB is a natural receiver, if he knows how to catch, he's gonna always look for the ball. That's what you taught. If a DB never played receiver at all, he may not never been taught that, so he doesn't do that. That's just my opinion.
And then you can have a DB like what's this is my team, the Cowboys. Diggs looks for the ball all the time. He gets beat on double moves all the time
because he was a receiver, and
because he was a receiver. Because he
Saban
know he's
turned him
looking
into a
like this.
DB.
Yeah, so I mean,
Exactly.
okay, so last year, man, we heard with T-Rod was the coach, DVD coaching the cornerbacks. Ivy was looking good early on during the spring. But then once the season come, you kind of have the same issues.
Shit get real, boy.
Yeah,
Some dudes can't handle that light, and
you know what I'm saying.
I'm
So
not down in the
I
kid.
don't know how much of the teaching of it was teaching because it's like, hold on, you've been taught. Now you've been taught by another two coaches, and it's still the same issues. But fast forward, you got Coach Adai comes in this year, and Ivy looks good again. He looks like okay. He looks the par. He's a freak of nature. He looks big at cornerback already. 6'2", about he looks like he about 205. He looks good so far in
He's
spring.
looking good. Yeah, because I talked about it when I was out there. They told me he's been doing good, so that's good news. So now he just gotta. This is last hurrah. So he got to go out there and make it happen on Saturdays. So that's all. I just think he just got to get over. He just got to get over that fear of making plays, man. That's what it all comes down to. Because like the brother, I didn't look at the name, but like the brother was just saying about the double moves and all that. I can't really give him a pass on that because there are techniques that you are taught, because if I'm playing that X receiver, there's a possibility that if it's trips to one side, I'm on the X side, I'm by myself. I know as a defensive back, right off top, he gonna get me on the sluggo, slant and go, which is a slant and go, or he's just gonna pretty much run a 9 route or a comeback. Those are pretty much route the skinny posts that I know I can level some of that stuff down. But
That's
then
right.
if he runs a sluggo, I know when I'm breaking up on my 45 and coming down on him, I'm gonna aim at that upfield shoulder because if he's gonna turn it up, he's gonna have to run through me. So I'm either gonna stop you right there, I'm either gonna tackle you and take the 10, take the 15 or whatever. So you have to understand how to play those techniques because a lot of kids, and this is what I try to tell kids in high school, when we doing this stuff in individuals, don't just throw it out the window when we go out there and do it on 7-on-7 and team period. Use these same techniques because that's why we doing them every day. Not the same ones, we're gonna switch it up doing individuals because these are what we have to work on. There's not enough time and practice to work on everything every day. So, but I do get it. He maybe got beat on the double move before, so now he's shell shocked. But sometimes you got to get over that fear and come out there and play ball because if you don't, that's the next guy that's behind you that's licking their chops that's ready to take your spot.
That's right.
Always.
That's
Hey,
right.
Coach Bo, what's happening, man? Coach Bo, he in the chat, man. Coach Bo, defensive line coach, Pittsburgh. What's good, Coach Bo? You're gonna have to unmute yourself, Coach Bo.
Hey, what's up, man? How y'all doing, man?
We good.
All right,
What's going on with you, Coach?
Not much, just chilling, man. Just getting ready for tomorrow, really. Going in the office. It's really.
Yeah, you hitting that road? You hitting the road of recruiting, or you?
No, I don't go out on the road to
Oh,
recruit.
you don't go out on the road?
No, sir.
Oh, okay, man. I know you're looking for some South Florida players.
Yeah, we got a couple kids that we trying to get up. No, I think we just got a Hakeem up here getting ready for him to have an official this summer.
Okay, that's right. Hakeem Williams, one of the top receivers in the nation. He gonna come up. So yeah, he's already set the official visit for up there.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, that's what's up, man. How you guys looking? How you guys look for spring? I didn't get to check you out yet.
Spring we had a great spring. We had a transfer quarterback from USC, Keenan Slovis. He's battling out with our backup from last year, Nick Patty. That's really been the biggest competition coming out of this spring. We got a new OC, Frank Cinetti from Boston College. He was there
That's right.
past
Frank
2 years.
did come over there. That's right.
So his offense has been pretty good. Got some things. It'll be a strong offense. Defensively, we'll be pretty good. I think we had 9 starters return from the defense last year. Yes, sir.
Yeah. He keep a great defense. He's yeah.
Don't y'all
Yes,
I got from Streeter. What's his name from the West? He's still at Pittsburgh, right?
Kalijah Kansas.
Yeah, he's still there, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, we gotta put up with him again.
Yes, sir.
Coach, what is it that y'all do that keep Pittsburgh D linemen so damn good? Like y'all just guys leave, guys come, Pittsburgh gonna have a D line regardless.
It's really the drill work from Coach Partridge, man. Me and him do a great job with the defensive line. It's a great culture in the room. We got a lot of guys. We got a lot of depth with older guys at that.
That's big. Having
Yeah,
some older
that's
guys in
good,
there.
man.
That's
Yeah,
big.
y'all definitely did a good job on that defensive line, man. Yeah. I mean, well, Pittsburgh always been pretty good with
Appreciate it.
defensive line, man.
Yeah, the doozy defense is very physical, attacking. Some people say we blitz all the time, but we got coordinated plays, how we call it.
Right.
Yeah, but y'all gotta come down to Miami this year, man. And we
Yeah,
put it
they
on
set
y'all
us up
again
for a
this
good
year.
one. The last game of the year too.
Oh, it's the last game. Oh,
Ooh.
wow. that might determine the ACC, the coastal because
yeah, that was something I'm saying.
yeah, it might determine who wins the coastal right there because it looks like they got Pittsburgh, I'm not. North Carolina State is they on the other side, right?
Yeah, they're on the side.
Okay, so it looked like they got North Carolina State, Pittsburgh, It look, they got them battling for the ACC. They got Clemson in there, but the way Clemson quarterback was playing.
Yeah, they got to get that situation together over there.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm just happy that is back in the play, man. We looking like we doing something, man. Then Pittsburgh, man, the year y'all had last year, man, with y'all quarterback setting all type of little records. Didn't he break that winning record or something like that?
Yeah, he had a historical season. I think
I'm glad he gone. Yeah. I'm glad he gone.
No, man, they got a great young quarterback, man. He's gonna be really good, man. You got to keep hold to him.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if he has a good year like that this year, he definitely won't be back. But I guess we'll enjoy him for this last year, man. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see, man. It'll be a good game at the end of the year. Might determine it all.
Yeah, see, I wasn't even aware that was the last game of the year. Whoa,
they set us up real good right there.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a good one, man. But thanks for stopping by, Coach Bo, man.
Appreciate it, man. Always.
Anything you need, man, reach out to us, man. We can always help you out. You need something, you need to talk to a certain kid, just let us know.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. I'm a South Florida native. I went to Miami Jackson. I came out in 2014.
Oh, you're a general.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you got there right? You graduated the year that I got there.
I used to come out there with you a couple times.
Okay,
all the younger boys that you got.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm happy for you, man. Hey, continue to grind, man, because we need more guys like you at the NCAA level, man. And just keep it up. And Coach Partridge, man, you learning from one of the best.
Yes, sir. Really appreciate that, man.
For sure. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thanks for stopping by.
For sure,
all right,
man.
We're gonna get into a few questions, man, before we get up out of here. J-Dub, I know you jumped in, man. I was supposed to ask you your question. I mean, let you ask your question, man. Go ahead and ask your question.
Nah, I was just at the time it was we was talking about Sean Taylor and Ed Reed, and I was gonna make the comment that I listened to Brandon Mayweather today on his YouTube, and he made a comment that was saying, I think the person who was hosting said that, I guess it was Kyle Wright or somebody came out with a top safety list or whatever, and they had Sean Taylor at number 4. But Brandon was saying he was kind of confused about that. They might have.
Oh, you talk about that Boomer dude. He did a list, and he had Ed Reed was 1. I think Ronnie Lott was 2, right? And then Eric Berry was 3, and Sean Taylor was 4.
Yeah, and Brandon was just making a comment. He was like, man, if I remember correctly, he was saying Sean Taylor was the best that he ever seen.
Yeah.
He was, and I was just going back to what we were saying when y'all was talking about the safety in the conversation. So that's what that's about.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so let me give my opinion about that list. I wasn't mad at it because if I can remember, I didn't remember Ronnie Lott too much. I remember a little bit, but Ed Reed, Eric Berry, and Sean Taylor, I remember. Eric Berry was that man. He was that guy at safety at Tennessee. I don't know if
Hey,
everybody remember that.
hey,
Wait, are we
he
talking college or all time pro or what?
College, talk college,
you
talking
can
Oh,
college.
college. Okay.
you can arguably go both besides his injury or his illness or whatever. Balling in the pros.
Yeah, and in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
NFL he was good. Eric Berry
Yeah.
was really
Man,
that
I
guy.
had built the
Yeah,
house in Atlanta, and I was going to move up there back in 06, 07. and I was going to coach at this school. It was something Creek, and they looked like Florida State. The helmets were like Florida State. And I remember talking to the head football coach, and I was watching film, and I said, "Man, this kid you got that's playing quarterback." He was like, "Nah, man." He said he's the best defensive back in America, and it was Eric Berry.
Yeah, nah. Eric Berry was that guy. He was that guy in high school, college, and in the NFL.
yeah.
But with that being said, I wouldn't put him above Sean Taylor just because of the impact Sean Taylor immediately had. But it's a debatable list to have. Okay, it's a debatable list once you go from 2 to 4. Ed Reed is arguably the best safety ever. That's just off rip. But when you say Ronnie Lott, Eric Berry, Sean Taylor, you can really debate that. You can debate them 3 out of that.
Right. But you
I
know,
mean, I was mad they didn't have Kenny Phillips on the list. They didn't have Kenny Phillips, and they didn't have
Brandon. That's what
they didn't
Brandon.
have Brandon Mayweather.
That's what he was saying. That's why that was his argument. He was trying to figure that out.
I'm trying to remember. Did they have Benny Blades?
I don't know. I didn't see this. I just heard this conversation.
You gotta have Benny.
Well,
You gotta have Benny up there. I mean,
that's what I was gonna say. That if they didn't have Benny on there, then the list was really. I got to look at the list again, but I know they had Reed, they had Sean Taylor, they had
Whether they had
Kenny. Well, I know they didn't have Kenny. That's why I was saying, like, yeah, if they didn't have Kenny, then yeah, it was a bogus list. But it's all right. I mean, somebody made an opinion about who.
But there's always gonna be somebody missing, man. So that's the thing with those lists. So I don't really get too caught up in all the lists and all that. But I know my favorite are Sean and Ed. At both of them at one.
Yeah, I mean, it's we had that topic. Me and my cousin always had an argument about who was better, Sean and Ed. And we both come up with the conclusion, like, man, forget it. They just both won.
Right.
They both did.
That boy. Whew, they both bring so much to the game, man. I'm just glad I was able to see both of those guys play.
Yeah,
man, it look like I got a couple of little. I got a couple of little
brother.
homies in here. I got Dylan Stevenson. He's defensive end at Killian. I thought I saw Mark. Mark must have just jumped out of here. Mark Gay. He's a safety. I think he's at Killian too, if I'm not mistaken.
They got some players down there at Killian.
Oh yeah. No, they got some players down there, man. Killian always had a tradition of getting players. They just got to put it together on that field. So they got a team.
Right.
Anybody else got some questions before we get up out of here?
I got a question for you.
Who that, me? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So as you transition to this DC role, who would you say, looking out your schedule, and the projection which you got, who is the guys that you would say is like not necessarily gives you nightmares, but who are the guys you're like, man, this dude on this team has my attention?
I haven't been able to watch tape on those guys. I'm about to start prepping up for I think it's St. Joe's. I think that's the school that we play in Jersey. I will have to look at the schedule. So it's not really.
Are y'all going up to Jersey?
No, they're coming down here. We playing the first game at St. Thomas, like a kickoff classic. We playing them at St. Thomas. Hold on, I'm pulling up the schedule right now. So yeah, we play St. Joseph. We play them at home. I'm not sure who Fort Myers got. I'm pretty sure Coco gonna have some guys. You got Western Warriors, Treasure Coast. Dillard may have some guys, so I don't know all those guys over there. Monarch, Myanmar. So I really can't even tell you. Like, I was hoping that I think Heritage and St. Thomas should play every year, but for whatever reason, that game is not going to be played this year.
Hey, I got a question for you, Earl. You can answer this the short way or the long way. It don't
Hold on,
really
hold on,
matter.
hold on, hold on. Now, if we would have played Heritage, it would have been that kid. It would have been Brandon Ennis. If we were playing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
one.
Now I got a question for you. You can answer it long or short,
Okay.
don't matter. So when you was in, everybody always remark. Well, Streeter like to say this. Everybody remark about how, like all the former players remark about how smart Butch Davis was. You know, they say he like one of the smartest dudes they ever met when it comes to football. Yada yada. I'm a big Butch fan. You know what I mean? I wish Butch would have came back here for many years. So, but with you being in Cleveland and you knowing Butch and all that, and you knowing the staff, what is it that you think didn't click for Butch in the pros? Like, why do you think it didn't go as well? Do you think it's just a different level, or was there just a lot more to it?
Personally, I think this not throwing a shot at him. I just think that he was just trying to be almost like Jimmy Johnson too much. You know, because sometimes you gotta move on with the times. You know what I mean? And I just think sometimes you can't do like how they did things in Dallas. You know, put it this way: we led the NFL with guys on IR like 2 years. Now we made the playoffs one year. We had a really good run, but we also had guys that was on IR a lot. You know, because the way we was going about doing things at practice, I think. So yeah.
So essentially, kind of like saving with the Dolphins. One cut out for that. You're trying to be, like the way you can dictate college, you can't dictate the pros like that.
Right. You know, but yeah. So basically, that's it. Yeah. I mean, I was still in the league when Saban was down here at with the Dolphins. So I know, but I know a guy that Donald. I forgot his last name. I think his last name was Donald. He was a tight end. He told me, I'll never forget. We was all in the cold tub after practice one day during training camp. He ended up getting cut by Saban, and he said, man, that's the first time I ever thought about quitting football. He said, man, that dude worked the hell out. I'll never forget that, man. I had told Saban about that one time. He just started laughing, man. But yeah, the boy said he had thought about quitting football, man. He said, man, I ain't never worked so hard in my life. Yeah. But, it is what it is. Because, when Butch first got to Cleveland, bro, I'm not lying to you. When we had our first full team practice, we had a scrimmage. First day in pass. All our
scrimmage first day
our bloody war. But we was competitive though. We almost made the playoff that year. And they had the bottle gate situation when the referee we stopped the play, and then they dropped the ball or whatever. We got the ball and whatever it was. Then they started throwing a bunch of bottles because the referees, before you gotta call the play, like you gotta throw the red flag out there for now for to see a play over. We ran the play, the play, and then they came back to go to two plays, and then they said no, and then the fans just went crazy up there. So we would have made the playoffs that year, and then at 8-8, and then we ended up making the playoff the year before. The year afterwards, and then we had Pittsburgh on the ropes, and then it just Bruce Arians spoke about it. I don't want to really get into it. We would beat Pittsburgh by 17 points with 3 minutes left in the game, and we ended up losing.
What team was that? Who was y'all like running back and quarterback? I'm trying to remember that team.
Kelly Holcomb took over for Tim Couch. Tim Couch had broke his arm or something. Something had happened to him. So Kelly Holcomb took over, and we won 7 out of our last 10 games. And then we also led the league in turnovers. We had 35 interceptions that year. Turnovers. So yeah, we was on the road, but then things just started changing. He started getting rid of people, and so
That's what it seemed to happen to like the college coaches. It's never really like the X's and O's that get them. It's always how they deal with the players or the management and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I mean, just go back to 2017. Yeah. Once at the
Chip
end of
Kelly.
the year, our players start getting hurt. You see, the offense couldn't do nothing there. Who gets hurt? The tight end. What was the tight end name? Herndon got hurt. And then, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Ahmad get hurt? Yeah, Ahmad was hurt that year. So now the offense kind of looking stuck. Like now you can't move the ball anymore because you don't got nobody to throw the ball to.
I mean, 2017, we needed a quarterback that year, man.
I mean, even with Rozier being the quarterback, it's okay. So at the beginning of the year, the offense here and there, but once Omar got hurt, and then once Herndon got hurt, the offense completely stopped. Remember Pittsburgh?
Yeah, that was some bullshit, bro. You got
Remember
all the way up there and
we went to
lost to fucking
Pittsburgh, and the offense
Pittsburgh.
did nothing.
Man, X
Yeah,
knows
that
how
was
to
sad,
hit
bro.
where it hurts deep. X, man, I love it.
You want to know why we lost?
You know I'm messing with you.
Man, we went to Pittsburgh and
You want
lost.
to know why?
Yeah, that shit.
We was number 2. We was ranked number 2 in the nation, and went to Pittsburgh and lost.
Had them beat the shit out of Notre Dame.
We were so predictable. This is
So
one of my.
predictable on offense.
If you go back and look at that offense,
the definition of
they would not motion a lot. They would not do that, and I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Mark Rick,
and that's what
Rick
Narduzzi. He took advantage of that. He's a defensive genius, bro. You can't go up there playing Pittsburgh, being so predictable like that. Come on, man.
Yeah. So I fully understand when the players get hurt, man. If you ain't recruiting like that, man, you definitely taking a step back at certain positions, man. When Amar got hurt, man, it looked like our offense didn't want to do nothing at all.
But at the same time, bro, Rozier wasn't the best, and he was a good manager at the quarterback position. But if you don't have no good quarterback, bro, you're gonna have a hard time winning football games.
Wait, Jeff Thomas was starting on that team though, right?
Was he? I don't think.
Yeah, because remember when we played Clemson, and he overthrew or underthrew Jeff on that bomb.
Yeah, so Jeff Thomas. Yeah, but Jeff Thomas was a freshman. He was a freshman. He was a true freshman that year.
That bitch
No,
was wide
we're not
ass
gonna
open
talk
that game.
about
I know
nothing
that
about Clemson, man. We ain't had no good memories with that. Let that shit go. Y'all know.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you something that make you feel good. From what I was told from a good reliable source, that quarterback they have, the big Polynesian guy at Clemson, he can't read coverages too good. So that was part of his downfall last year. So and I got that from a good reliable source.
Man, I thought they was gonna be rolling when I saw him play against Notre Dame. I said, God damn! As soon as Lawrence leave, we got to deal with this big motherfucker. Shit, after that, man.
I mean, the freshman guy they got that just came up. He looked like he could take that position over. I don't know.
Kate Klubnik, I think his name.
Yeah, I don't know why Dabo even like stressing it. Like, man, just tell that boy, just say it's not working out.
Unless the kid got better. Unless he got better, did a lot of film study and got better,
Nah, he didn't know. That spring game, he didn't look better.
Oh well.
His confidence might be shot now. He was like the number 1 quarterback, right, in his class.
Yeah, they were
he?
talking about him being number 1 pick.
Yeah, his confidence might be going
because
down.
of his size and the way because he could throw the ball so far, but to me, he kind of remind me of like a Jamarcus Russell.
Mm-hmm.
He can just throw the ball probably the whole length of the football field, but he can't. He has horrible accuracy.
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like he has nothing outside of him just being big and can throw the ball. He can't read the defense. He has no accuracy. You don't want that type of quarterback on your team.
Right. He probably trying to keep that depth at the quarterback position.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but that Dabo has once he started recruiting the quarterback position better, you started seeing Clemson just elevate better. So, like Earl said earlier, like if you ain't got no good quarterback, 9 times out of 10, your team ain't gonna be that good. Not now, not in today's football.
Yeah, you got to have a quarterback, man. You got to be able to win on third down on both sides of the ball. You got to be able to win third down. Yeah. You ain't winning third down, and you ain't got no good quarterback, you're in trouble.
I think if Clemson start trending down and shit like this year and next year, it might be done because unlike us, even though we've been bad for a long time, we still got this recruiting ground. But if Clemson ain't winning, who the hell want to go to Clemson?
Yeah, that's true. And then the way that what's his name, Matt Brown recruited in North Carolina, he's gonna start getting all the Carolina players.
Yeah, that's that dude right there. That old man, he can coach, bro.
Yeah, he coached. He can definitely coach. We need to get him out of there. They need to get him out of there, man, because since he got there, they been beating us bad.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Who got anybody else got another question? Let me see here. One guy. Know your Irish. You got a question, sir? Oh, like it's still loading. Anybody else got a
His name
question?
got me concerned a little
No
bit.
question. I just want to thank Earl for hanging with us so long, man. You have no idea. I'm like your biggest fan, bro. And I'm so giddy. I've had to drink just to deal with this because I can't believe it. You're on here
Nah,
with
man.
us. But no, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna keep it respectful. I love you
Hey,
guys.
man, I appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for being a supporter,
Yeah,
man. Thanks,
I'm one of the realest dudes that you'll meet, man. And that's just not being arrogant about it. I'm just a down to earth cat, man. And I don't let football or anything get to my head. You know, I just love what I do. I got a passion for it. You know, and love my family and everything. Like, of course, you know, in the ex Street or one of the two hit me up. I know they both run it, and they asked me to come on tonight. And I said, yeah. I didn't even hesitate. I was down with it.
Yeah, now Earl is definitely, man, one of the. He's family with us, man. You know, we watch a kid for 5, 6 years. You family,
yeah, for sure.
Earl, you class of 94, right? 92. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. No,
Yes,
Miami.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that stingy defense. We gave up 31 points in the whole regular season, 14 in the first game.
Yeah. I came in a couple of years after.
Oh, okay.
But I always heard about y'all 95 homeboys team with y'all. But okay,
Yeah.
all right.
The Vikings, man. We had some good battles with them too, man. It's just so much talent, man. I just think about a lot of guys that I played against, you know, in high school. It's just so much talent down here.
Hold on, you say you came from New Orleans?
Man, I changed my name. I told you I hit you some time ago, man. I played behind your brother. Your brother was the real one, bro.
I was just about to say, oh, you
Man,
play,
hey,
you played that, yeah, man.
Your brother 93. I was in the 10th grade playing varsity, and that was 93, and I was playing behind your brother. Man, hey, your brother was him and Warrior Wilford.
Oh yeah. Man, I remember my brother playing against North Miami. He hit the quarterback so hard he broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
I was a kid on the sideline, and I damn near ran on the field because I was so proud. I was like, damn, look at my brother.
Arnold,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Arnold was
I remember.
Arnold was one of the hardest hitters I ever seen, bro. Trust me.
Yeah.
Good person.
Listen. He then my brother, he ended up going to the University of Miami football camp, and he won the MVP there, and they automatically offered him a scholarship.
Right.
My brother was probably the first linebacker I seen run a 4.5. And I was like, damn, somebody big like that can run like that.
Man, your brother, hey, Arnold was the true. Hey, you come, hey. See, you much younger. See, Yante is my homeboy.
Oh yeah, I tell you, Brian, yeah.
Right. You much younger, so I really ain't see you, but your brother and your other brother under you, right under him, right under her. Ant was the true basketball. I ain't want to mess with Streeter for a little bit, but I told her, I said, man, if Ant would have played, boy, none of them would have started. Already, none of them started. I'm trying to tell you, I already know.
Nah, because my brother he kept wanting to play basketball, man, but my brother wasn't into it. He wasn't trying to go to class. He was like, man, forget all that. And he went to the coach. It's a funny story because Coach Rocco was a basketball coach, right? So my brother made the team. He didn't have a grade, so he came back to Coach Rocco. And he said, Coach Rocco, man, I got a 1.9. I just need you to go talk to my teacher so I could get the grades to play. And Coach Rocco he say, son, unless you 6'8" and can dunk the ball with your ass, get out my face.
But that was Rocco had KJ and Street and them. He already had his team.
Yeah. That team Street and them played on was real good. They was nationally ranked, man. They was nationally ranked.
Right. But your brother, and I don't know if you know Nabi, but ask your brother.
Yeah, I know Nabi. I know them.
Them two right there would have took over